the call-in number up there. So, yeah, Ryan Hilliard grew up in a small town in rural southern Illinois. Great place to grow up, about 45 minutes north of Paducah. So many of the Kentucky folks will know Paducah, far west Kentucky. A lot of people don't know that Illinois even touches Kentucky, but it does.
Is that St. Louis Cardinal country mostly out there?
It's all Cardinal country. I was my dad was from the burbs of Chicago, so I was raised a Cubs fan and get beat up a lot as a kid for that. You know, I'm kidding, but seriously. And yeah, wife Rachel of now 11 years, 3 kids, June, Theo, and Jack. So a girl, boy. And honored to be on the Thad Blevins podcast.
So growing up in the 90s, that area, pretty good time to be a Chicago Bulls fan, I would imagine.
Bro, growing up in the 90s, which you and I have talked about, probably the greatest decade of any decade ever.
Yeah,
just going to say that.
Post-Cold War America, late 80s, early 90s, is probably the greatest era of I would just say, human civilization, generally speaking.
Agreed. And especially since I grew up in it. And, a lot of Saved by the Bell, a lot of, I don't know why Saved by the Bell came out, but a lot of great times in the early 90s. Christy, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You know. She knows. And
babies.
But yeah, my kids are not experiencing that. They're experiencing the whatever this generation will be called, and hoping to raise them with a little taste of that 90s. So yeah, growing up as a Bulls fan in Illinois in the 90s was pretty unbelievable. I remember the day that Michael retired like it was yesterday.
The 98 retirement? Or the 94 retirement?
94 retirement. And then I remember getting the Wheaties box that said, I'm back. And
bro,
still got it.
The 94 retirement, kids write letters to Santa. I wrote a letter to MJ because I was going to convince him that it was probably a bad idea for him to retire and play baseball. Probably should just stick with the Bulls program. Which eventually, he did hear what I had to say, and he figured it out, of course.
Yeah, he
but
came back.
It took a couple of years, I was a White Sox fan there for a minute.
I think he was on the fence till he got your letter.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that what it was.
Then he came back.
It's just kind of sitting in the back of his mind for a couple of years. It's planting seeds. That's the important thing. It's kind of like real estate.
That's right.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
Absolutely, you nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. So big MJ fan, Chicago Bulls. You and I met circa 2008 at Southland through my Rachel.
Yes.
That was like the year we got together. I don't know if you know that. So going on 15-ish.
That a boy.
Have I known you for 15 years, Ryan?
Close to it. 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
So you stuck around here. What was your trajectory from school to real estate?
Yeah, I went to worked at an advertising agency for 3.5 years, and then it was called Right Place Media. Great place to work. Shout out to Joel Rapp, who's an awesome guy, great boss. Taught me a ton. And then I got recruited. There's a blip in there. I actually went back to Murray State for a semester.
Go Racers.
Go Racers. I thought I was going to be a high school history teacher and coach football. So I was going to go back and get my master's.
You would have been the GOAT history
good
teacher.
History teachers do.
That's what I probably would have taught health, but health and football. But, so I thought that was my trajectory. And then right before I left, I met this girl named Rachel, my Rachel. Went up right before I went back to Murray State. Worked at Cracker Barrel as a server while I was there for 4 months.
Murray. Okay,
At Murray
Winchester
State.
Road or
No, at Murray.
Okay.
Murray's hot tip. Murray is one of the only Cracker Barrels in the country that is not on an interstate. So it's like one of 3, at least at that time. Now that was 2009, 10. Met Rachel and decided 3 months later I better come back. I better chase this girl down and marry her. So I did, and came back and started working at the TV station, LEX 18, in sales, and realized I liked that mix of in and out of the office. And I had a great time. That was a really fun ride. Met a lot of great people in the community. And then in that, Rachel and I got married and then bought our first house. And the people that we were involved with were like, you ought to consider this.
What was the first house?
We bought a house off of Boston Road.
Okay.
South Lex. And had it was a ranch on a basement. Bought it for $155,000. Finished ranch on a basement.
My Rachel lived probably
Steal.
circa 09-ish on Weber Way over there.
Practically neighbors.
Probably your neighbor over there for a minute.
That's right.
But okay, so you worked with someone at Berkshire. Did you tell me who you worked with?
Yes.
I missed it.
No, I didn't. Sorry. So I sought out the advice of several realtors in the community on where to go and interview, and that was one of the companies. And started out at the time it was Prudential A.S. DeMoulin, which is Anthony DeMoulin, the Papa Bear over there. And I knew they were going to be Berkshire Hathaway affiliate, and they became Berkshire Hathaway DeMoulin Properties, and I worked there for 5.5 years, and now 5.5 years later, I'm at the brokerage. 5.5, and I'm staying.
2014-ish license?
Yes, did classes in end of 2013, got licensed end of 2013, and then started full time in 14, January 1 of 14.
Okay, all right, Christy.
Oh, I get to follow Ryan.
Please.
Oh, he sounds so professional. Christy Pellegrino, and I'm from Lexington, Kentucky. Graduate of the University of Kentucky. Go Cats. Married. My husband is from New York. He's from Brooklyn. Met him at a bar.
Stud.
So I met him at a bar in Queens, New York when I was on call. I was based in Boston.
Your husband, I'm going to tell you, he does kind of look like a TV star. I kind of
looks like
has that
Coach
vibe.
Cal.
Yeah, a little bit.
He does.
A little bit, yeah.
So I was based in Boston, and I covered New York too. So I covered JFK and Boston. And in 91, I was on call during the Gulf War furlough. So I had to be in New York all the time because we were, on reserve, ready reserve. So we had an apartment in New York, and I had an apartment in Boston, but I covered both bases. So met him on Derby Day. I don't know, whenever that was, May the 4th of 1991. In a bar. I didn't want to go out that night because I'd already flown.
That's how it happened.
That's right.
That's how it happened.
Oh, you'd already flown that day?
Yeah, I already came in from a trip from Madrid, and we stopped in Barcelona, which makes it a longer trip.
So I'm going to tell you just real quick. Had an apartment in New York, apartment in Boston, young girl. I knew the day that I met her that she was fancy. Mm-hmm. It took me about 5 minutes.
No, there was like 13 of us in this little apartment. The little apartment was a little bit scary.
Okay. How big was that apartment? I'm just kidding. So didn't want to go out that night.
No,
Went
but
out
I
anyway.
didn't want everybody else was going to be going out to this bar.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to go out. But I didn't want to be left in the apartment, kind of by myself. Wasn't I don't know. Just I was like, okay, I'll go out. Did not want to go out. So when you don't want to go out and you're not looking, that's when you find somebody.
Mm-hmm. So how would that initial conversation happen? Did he have a good line for you?
No, I had a line for him.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Here we go.
I just asked him what his name was.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Did he tell you his real name?
yeah, he did.
Well, see, there you go. It's a good sign.
Let's see, what else did he do? Oh, there were 6 of us. So I introduced him to all my girlfriends, and I said, she's from Seattle, she's from Boston, and he thought I was lying. He's like, what in the world? She's in Queens, New York, at a 50s bar, out with these, she's pulling my leg. Uh-huh. And I was like, no. So then we met I don't know. Here we didn't want to go out, and we ended up closing the bar down at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
But because we all hadn't been to this place in Queens, we weren't quite sure how to get home. So, yeah. So
convenient.
He just showed us. We followed his car, and I don't know. We made it back home, but he showed us how to get home. So we did. And he asked me for my number that night. And then I said to him, oh, you'll have to call me after 10 o'clock in the morning. I have to call in for my assignment. Anthony's going to love this. And he called it 10. He called it 10:01. Yeah. And I was like,
yes.
He wasn't playing.
He's watching the clock.
So I made him call me back. So my assignment was to London that night. And so, anyways, he came to pick me up. We had lunch and walked over the Brooklyn Bridge, took me to work, and We dated ever since.
Man.
So you meet a nice guy in a bar.
What like a legit picturesque first date walk across the Brooklyn Bridge? Are you
know.
kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Man. So that was 91,
91
and you all were married when?
and 93.
93.
Yes. We lived in New York for another 2.5 years, 3 years until we had Caroline. It was very expensive. We lived in Manhasset on the North Shore of Long Island, where home prices are very high. They still are. Loved it there, but the cost of living it was time to try to get back home where easier way to raise the family. So then we ended up back home in Lexington. We've been here for 25 years. We've got a daughter, Caroline, Matthew, and Luke.
And you transitioned directly from flying around every day to real estate, or was there in between?
No, there was a in between because when 9/11 happened, American Airlines had acquired us, and they put us at the bottom of the seniority list. And so when that happened, 9/11 happened, we got furloughed. So I was furloughed for 8 years. But the kids were small, so it gave me time to be home with the children and I was on furlough. So we had 10 years of recall rights. In the 8th year, American Airlines asked if we wanted to have a pass out. So I took the pass out of 10 years and severed myself from the company. But then we had 10 years of unlimited travel.
Oh.
Yeah. So
What?
so we had unlimited travel, and then I went to work for St. Michael's Preschool because I wanted to be able to have that opportunity to have the time off to go travel. I'd worked for 17 years, and I wanted to be able to, take advantage of those benefits. So we did, and then as the kids got older, it was time for a change, and I thought, well, what else could I do that would kind of give me the same lifestyle that I had with flying? I was used to working weekends, nights, holidays, sporadic schedules. And I thought, real estate.
It's perfect.
That'll be a perfect fit for me. So, yes,
What a great story. I mean, you have lived an adventure.
I have.
That is awesome. So what year was it exactly, real estate?
2000, licensed in 2016, so 7 years.
Straight to the, I guess the brokerage was
No, I was with
didn't
Keller
happen for a
Williams
couple years.
Bluegrass first.
Okay.
For 2.5 years.
So
Now-
then you were like ground level brokerage after that happened.
Yes,
Okay.
right.
All
Well,
right.
Yes, 5 years, right? Been here 5 years?
Who brought you?
I'd ask you.
Absolutely.
Who recruited you over?
Oh, I don't know. I got to think.
We all wanted Christy Pellegrino.
Yeah.
Come
How
on.
could you not?
We all wanted Christy. Come
Oh,
on.
you're so sweet.
Okay, Jenn Carter.
From the beginning?
Jen.
From the moment of your birth.
I'm Jenn Carter. I have been in Lexington since 2010 when I got married. My husband came up in 2008. So we're both from Eastern Kentucky. He is more, shout out. He's a little more east than me. I'm from Ashland. He's from Elliott County.
So not technically,
Well,
culturally.
culturally.
It's where the
maybe.
bluegrass
You-
kisses
yeah.
the mountains.
Because you were from the big city of Ashland.
It's true.
Go ahead. So Elliott County.
We met at Moorhead. We both went to Moorhead undergrad. Similar. We met in the one and only bar in Moorhead.
There you go.
Our first date, I don't think we walked across the New York Bridge, but we did walk downtown Moorhead.
Close.
It's very
Close
similar.
second. Close second.
No, so he got a job in Lexington, and once we got married, I followed. I started off, so I went to undergrad Moorhead, went to grad school at UK, and started off in medical social work or healthcare social work, and did that up until 2014, 2015, when my daughter was born, and then I kind of took a little maternity leave maybe and never went back. So she's 8. I'm still on maternity leave. No, when she was about 2.5, I thought, or about 2, I think, I thought I might be ready to work again, but I know I do not want to be tied down to 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, or weekends, all day. I want to be able to be at home with her. So I started off as a admin, realtor admin, and
For
an agent. This was Brokerage, pre-South District days. I started off as an admin for the realtor that actually helped Joe and I buy our home. So our first home is our current home. We've been there since 2012. We kind of didn't do the starter home thing. We just bought a house and have never left. But that was Dana Dameron. She actually had met Christy at Keller when I was admitting for her. And then she left Keller and went to Better Homes and Gardens. So I admin for her over there. And then when she was ready to retire, there was these two guys over there that had been in business for a bit, and they were getting a little more busy, and they thought, we might need an admin. They said, Jen, come be our admin.
Booyah.
Okay. So I think we met, interviewed, worked this out all within like a week span of each other. And we've been together almost 6 years because we were together for a while. I got licensed in May of 2018. They kind of pushed me to do that. Maybe more to have like a licensed admin kind of deal. If you don't know, licensed admin can do more than an unlicensed admin can do. And actually, my first deal when I really started working as a realtor is Josh was out of town, and he got a sign call. And so he called me and said, hey, you're going to show this house. And I did. Didn't work out, but I kept those clients, and they were my first clients ever. So
wow,
I kind of
Yeah.
realized, I could do this.
I can do this.
Started doing it, and I think we got a call in November 2018 to come interview at the brokerage. And this is actually our anniversary week, 5-year anniversary today.
This is your anniversary day.
This is our day.
Day.
So 5 years.
happy anniversary,
Thank
Jen.
you. Do we get anniversary gift? What's a
Today's
5-year
the
gift?
You get you get an anniversary podcast, anniversary drink.
Your gift is in the mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Saturday was our gift, right?
That's right. That's right. The
Party-
ladies at
party
least.
day.
You
Yeah.
Christmas party. You get a ladies gift.
So she doesn't have a microphone, but shout out to my friend and North Point Bank loan officer Kesley Boyd for bailing us out on the live
Kesley,
stream and
yes.
running the board over here.
She's running a good board. Look at her.
Yes.
Pro.
Yeah. So she's
She is,
good.
even though it's 100 degrees in here.
Has
At
she ever
intermission,
done
we're
that
going to turn the
before?
temperature down.
You're brand new at this?
She-
Wow. Y'all
she
sound like
is.
pros.
Good teacher.
Well, Kesley has been a guest before.
Oh.
So my friend
Seen it.
Jeremy Sneed, who worked at Fox 56, would run it, but his wife's going to have their first child any day now, and he works at Dinsmore during the day running their media. So
Nice.
it's Castelli today. Like, I can't tell you how many times this girl has like bailed me out, like handheld my clients, worked through credit issues for 6 to 8 months, and then we finally get them a house. I love this lady.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
most people I think already know who I am. This is my house. I work here. I go here.
You go here.
So yeah.
Go here.
So first question is, what is the best Christmas movie, and why is it Christmas Vacation?
Oh, no. Let me answer this. No.
So, true story. My grandmother had never seen, everybody knows Gigi, right?
Gigi.
So, my 80, I can't say how old on camera, 80-some-year-old grandmother had never watched Christmas Vacation until last year.
Wow.
And I swear to you, I've never heard her laugh so hard.
That's amazing.
To where my husband came into the room and was like, what is
What's
going
going
on
on?
in here? I said, it's just a little Clark.
Completely understandable.
Cousin Eddie got her.
Home
Man.
Alone.
Oh, yes.
Home Alone is
Home
a
on,
fan
Home on
favorite.
one.
Oh, yes.
The original.
Okay, yeah.
I just watched it the other night again. And I'm not one that had like slapstick comedy type. I don't know. Keep going back and watching. I think guys always know all the lines and things in movies, but there is something about Macaulay Culkin that a 9-year-old who is the star of that entire movie. And you just can't
Kevin.
get it. Yeah, he's hilarious. I love it all. It
Is
just makes me laugh.
June Home Alone age?
She is.
Is she? Okay, yeah.
She's
So my
oldest
daughter,
is watching it
too,
now.
is She watches it all year.
I know.
She watched it
yeah.
fall break on the way to Florida. She just loves
She's
it.
year round.
She just loves it.
So funny.
So good.
Part of the magic of that movie, best music in any Christmas movie ever,
Yeah.
start to finish. That score is
Great.
unreal.
Yeah. Yes.
Fun
Great
fact.
music. Great music.
You notice how, like in the 90s, there were frequently good Christmas movies. And the last great Christmas movie we've had, maybe you'll argue with this, but in my opinion, is 2004 Elf.
Elf.
Yes.
And there's been some decent ones since then, but no classics since then. So in the 90s, the guy who wrote all the Home Alone movies also wrote Christmas Vacation. That was John Hughes. So he was the magic, right?
Uh-huh.
So and with Christmas Vacation, man, it's like I've watched that movie more than I've watched any movie in my life, and it's really not close. That movie, it never stops. There's no filler. Every single second of that movie, every single line is just classic deep cut comedy, right? And to also to Ryan's point, that house, Home Alone, suburb of Chicago, of course, house is still that actual house still there.
Yes.
But getting back to the 90s, right?
1990s.
Christmas Vacation. Has there ever been a movie that was a better portrayal of a suburban family holiday in the 90s? Has there ever been a movie who depicted a family during the greatest era of human civilization?
That's right, baby.
The way that movie did.
The
So there's how could that not be the best movie ever?
No. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue at all.
But I
What's
feel
your
it coming.
fave? What's your
But-
fave?
The one right now where we're at in life, the one that we watch in Home Alone, I mean,
You
it's
got
like,
boys. You have boys. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, come on. Kevin, my guy Theo.
Kevin!
Kevin!
Yeah.
My guy Theo. And I think Macaulay Culkin's got it together now. Like I saw some pictures.
Yeah.
Of him. He's back.
Yeah,
He
he's
got a
a star. He's-
Hollywood
Yeah.
star.
He got a star.
Yeah.
So he might be back. He looks cleaned up.
Looks good.
Saw him and the mom photo of them together last week. Did you see that? And Clark
Bro.
and Eddie were together last week too. I don't know if you saw that.
Man, no. That blows me away.
Who's
What-
Eddie?
Eddie, cousin Eddie.
The actor Randy Quaid.
Randy. Yeah, Randy
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid went off the reservation for a while too. He might be a little schizophrenic and moved out to the desert.
Well, he's got a
Canada.
plate in his head.
Well, of course.
You know, it's soft plastic.
Legit, the dude that thought like the CIA was after him, like for real. But apparently he's back.
Did
and
Dennis talk him off the reservation? Dennis Quaid.
maybe did.
Brother
Yeah.
back. Is it brother? Cousin? I don't know.
I think it is. I think they are brothers.
I think so too.
So anyway, you're not gonna argue, but
I won't argue. I mean, for me, that's 1 and 1A. 1B, Elf, for sure.
Yeah.
Elf.
Elf,
Come
for
on.
sure.
I mean, for sure. For me.
sure.
It's a no doubter.
you,
There's
you-
so many good ones. Again, they're just like the one-liners. I feel like they brought a lot of the 90s into the 2000s. It was New York, which,
Yes.
you know, a lot of...
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, if you think of a lot of Christmas movies, a lot of Christmas movies are Chicago, which is awesome. Like my home state, but New York at Christmas, magical.
Right.
Like my wife and daughter dream about going to New York at Christmas. And so
Park Plaza.
that's right. And when he just gets that handful of and
Popcorn?
breakfast,
Yeah,
oh,
breakfast,
that too, no
breakfast,
breakfast when it's spaghetti
Yeah,
and
I know,
chocolate
yeah, he said
and
it in the
syrup.
Spaghetti and maple syrup.
Yeah, and maple syrup. And there's what are the 3 main food groups? Candy
Candy
canes,
canes.
candy corns, and syrup. So it's like, you know, I was
Gosh,
like, come on.
remember that.
See?
Remember.
See?
I was like, I would
know,
not remember.
I can't remember things that matter, but I can remember those.
That's exactly right.
But that's 1A, 1B. Now my kids, hey, they would argue Christmas Chronicles, strong, newer Christmas. You haven't seen it on
Oh,
Netflix.
yes.
Well,
You need to
it's
settle in one night.
So that's
get you some.
I would say Christmas Chronicles is the best Christmas movie since 04.
Recently,
yeah,
correct,
no question.
right.
That's a good one. Also thought the Christmas Story sequel
Oh,
that was it HBO, Hulu that Vince Vaughn did.
yes.
That one was for real Christmas movie.
real good.
Yeah,
Really
it
good.
exceeded my expectations, and I think there's probably some element of that it's like they can never surpass, the ones from our formative years just because of like the mystique and the nostalgia of that. But if I'm like real talk, like quality of a movie, Christmas Chronicles, excellent.
Solid.
Christmas Story 2, awesome. Love Vince Vaughn, great movie.
All we had growing up was Heidi.
what is that?
So fun fact.
We loved it.
Fun fact: when I was like probably from '88 to '92, Of course, we had rabbit ears antenna on top of the hill at the farm.
Oh, yeah.
When it would snow, you have to run up the hill and shake it off, twist the antenna. And for a minute, the only cassette tape, not VHS, that I was allowed to watch that wasn't like exclusively children's was Heidi.
Right.
Heidi.
There we go.
And I can tell you that I never wanted to watch it.
Again.
I don't.
What is Heidi?
I've
Christy
never seen
P.
Heidi. Why
I
have
need
I not
more.
seen
Dating
this?
myself.
Mom loved
I need more
Heidi and John
explanation.
Denver, man. I don't know.
John Denver.
Is Heidi, John Denver, and Carly
Said
Simon.
hello.
That's so good.
And then we did Homer Bound. We got Golden Retriever, and Candy the dog was outside dog, but we would let her in. We watch Homer Bound because she was sit in front of the TV
I know.
for the duration of that movie.
And watch that.
Absolutely
Homeward Bound,
love
for
that
sure.
movie.
It's the
Locked
first
in.
movie
Yeah.
I ever saw in theaters.
No kidding.
Homeward Bound.
My papa took all the grandkids.
There it was.
Aw.
I'm guessing he didn't know what it was going to be
Where
about.
was the theater? Where was the theater? He was crying, wasn't he? He was. I mean, when Shadow comes up the hill, come on.
The only theater. No, there were two at that time, but the theater at the mall, the Ashland Mall.
I'm about to
There,
cry right now.
Ashland Mall.
Cinemark.
No doubt.
Cinemark, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
So this is actually fun. So first movie that I saw in theaters was The Lion King.
Wow.
94. What, do you guys know yours?
The first movie? Gone with the Wind. I'm old.
It's a good one.
That is a good one.
yeah.
The other
We were
one,
there for hours. It's really long.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a long one.
Yeah,
Was
right?
that
There was intermissions.
That's right.
I'm trying to think. You and your dad?
Oh, we're cracking up. That's so good. The earliest one I can remember that I don't know. This is was Free Willy.
Free Will. That was a good one. We saw
That's
that
what
too.
I can remember.
I had the I don't remember the sequel. If you bought like one of the early edition cassettes, you actually get a necklace that had like a little wooden like whale like I'll be honest with you, I wore that thing for a few months because we visited SeaWorld in '92 and I had fond memories of SeaWorld.
It says
so good.
Titanic.
Titanic.
There it is.
Brooke.
Hi,
with the
Brooke.
Titanic. Hi,
Well,
Brooke.
Brooke, when Titanic came out, I can tell you that you were too young to
what
be
year
out there
was
watching
Free
that
Willy?
movie.
No, y'all.
Titanic, I think, was 96.
I think I saw that in the movies too.
Yeah.
I think my mom and I went.
So Brooke
The
would have been
3-hour show.
Brooke would have been
Yeah.
9 years old watching Kate and Jack.
Whoa.
That was the 90s.
What was the 90s?
Kids could watch that stuff.
Yeah,
Oh.
they wouldn't let me watch it till it came out on VHS. I was old enough to buy
had to go
VHS.
get- had to go get popcorn in a couple
It was in
parts.
theaters for about 6 years.
Yeah.
I think it was before it came out. Anyway,
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Lion King was in theaters for a minute, and then Titanic was in theaters for a long time.
Yes.
Well, and it had to be because it's so long. You play it back to back,
Right.
and stretch out.
Right. Have you seen the new Lion King? Was it where they've done all the? It's updated.
We got
Can't
the
think of. Never mind.
animation, the CGI.
Yes.
I think I like the Lion King how it is.
You need to watch it then.
I like the unadulterated Lion King.
The original.
There's a show called Lion Guard now. For kids, you'll see. It's the.
Did it change or did they just animate it
Simba's
like
kid.
Yeah,
Pixar?
it did,
the
and
dad
it's like
now.
you're.
Yes.
Yes, it feels like you're there.
Simba's the dad. Okay.
Yes, like you're running with the animals.
Oh, that is cool. Like IMAX 3D.
Yes.
That's really cool. I would watch that.
I would too.
Yeah, that movie has some great characters, man. Rafiki.
Great music.
What a story. So can I tell you a little secret? It's a little heavy, but it's funny. I've kind of been thinking about Lion King a lot lately.
Let's go.
Yeah, man, I'm a little nervous going into this one. So my mama, who raised me basically till I was 6 because everyone else is at work. She's at home on the farm. She babysits me. Probably late 95, early 96. She's diagnosed with advanced stage cancer. And I started school in August of 94. I could have gone 95, but I was a July 4 baby, so they said, we'll start you next year. So I was 6 when I started. So the day that I started school, came home from school, laid down with my mom, said, Mama, I went for school today. She said, how's your day? I told her about her day. And I walk out of the room, She tells my family he's in school. He doesn't need me. My mama passed away that night.
Oh, no.
So she's hanging on until I started school.
Wow.
And then at that time, The Lion King was still in theaters. And it was in theaters, I think, through September. So I go watch The Lion King. Of course, Mufasa gets killed. Traumatic for a little 6-year-old Thad.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
For everybody.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
right.
at that stage.
Right. Yeah. It's the first time I experienced death. And it's like, other than my mom and dad, the person I'm closest to, right? So it's like I didn't understand at all, you know? So there's the scene where, you know, so Scar kind of tricks Simba. He's out in the wasteland or whatever. Timon and Pumbaa find him. He becomes this like nihilist, right? And then Rafiki like brings him back to where he's looking in the pond. He's like, you know, you've forgotten yourself. So he looks in the pond at himself, sees Mufasa appear up in the sky, right? Starts having a conversation with Mufasa. Mufasa's like, you've forgotten me, Simba. And Simba's like, no. He's like, you've forgotten who you are. And so you've forgotten me, because he's sort of a reflection of Mufasa. 6-year-old Thad reads that as, well, if you pray hard enough and look in reflection hard enough, you can talk to dead people. And so the message that I took from The Lion King, first and foremost, was if I try really hard, I can still talk to my mama. And so, and it was it's a powerful coming of age story anyway, but I went back to like revisit that movie like just in the last 5-6 months. And there's so many solid, powerful lessons and archetypes in that movie. Like there's a reason why that movie had the impact that it did and stuck around as much as it did. And particularly, I think that scene really is powerful because it wasn't so much about what I thought it was about. It was about looking at yourself and taking an honest look at yourself without the programming that you received from other people to try to tell you who and how to be. And then you find who you are and your purpose when you take that honest look at yourself. And I think, we're in a time where there's a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty. Community's not what it was. And people are sort of, I think, searching kind of for themselves and where do I fit. And so anyway, that's my story about The Lion King. I felt like it was great for 6-year-old me to watch, but it was also awesome for 35-year-old me to go back and revisit. And I think in this moment, that movie is really, really relevant.
I want to go watch it.
Dude, it's so good. Production, the music, everything about that movie is like legendary, right? So who else we got on here? What's up, Todd Back? So we got.
We've had a lot of good crew popping in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Popping in and out.
Front row in Winchester, Mom escorted me out for the painting scene in Titanic.
God was laughing. Oh, no.
I don't know what she's talking about. I was never allowed to see
It was
it.
a bathroom break.
Yeah, always a bathroom break and popcorn.
So rather than do the my biography, because everybody has it, I will talk a little bit about my time at the brokerage, which has been kind of it's been a little over a year for me. Maybe I guess we're coming up on a year and a half. January, February, right? So August.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
And I just kind of I believe in giving people their flowers. So I owe a little bit of gratitude to everybody in this room, and you don't know why.
Well, wow.
So
Came here for gifts.
yeah, a little bit. So, there are 70 agents at the brokerage. Everybody knows the brokerage represents more buyers and sellers than anybody in Lexington.
Shout out.
I'm at the small office for a long time, comfortable, but, I had a quest the last 4 or 5 years that wasn't necessarily just real estate, right? Real estate was my way of not going back to a 9-to-5 job, help people and make money doing it, right? But not accidentally flew under the radar for a few years, right? And so it comes time where it's clear that I need to make a move, and you and I have a conversation, and you're like, bro, come talk, come meet with me and Todd. Let's get coffee. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Not because the brokerage wasn't obviously great office, great, reputation and brand, but it was kind of like, there's a certain set of expectations I feel like, or I felt that maybe weren't actually what they were. So the conversation was, come here and we want you to be successful according to whatever your definition of success is. Right. And that was the thing really more than anything else about it that made me say, okay, I can do that. Right. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, coming from where I came in my real estate career, it was intimidating to walk in a room, full of these people that are selling 10, 11, 15, Ryan Hilliard, $1 million in real estate in a year and have been doing it for a minute, right? And it's like this country kid walks in and it's like, you got this big community and it's like, you want to plug into that, right?
Yeah, man.
So the three of you were all kind of anchors for me at different points and in different ways. Christy, you were one of the first people that I ever met agents that I didn't know before when I came into the brokerage. Instantly super kind to me. Obviously, like classy, like pro lady, but just like the best energy. And I was like, okay, I've got Hilliard and I've got at least one other person that I know I'm going to like here, right? And then, out of, I think we had 70 agents at the time, right? The only person, well, it's two #606 people, Morgan and Jenn Carter, right?
606.
So, and I'll tell you, the 606 thing, it actually for us really has significance to just the cultural experience and perspective that you bring from that. I think sort of gives you a bond. There's sort of a level of understanding you have, with fellow 606ers that you just can't have with anybody else. And Jenn is just like 100% real all the time. And that makes me comfortable, right? When somebody's like quiet and it's like, you don't know what they think, like 100% of the time, you know what Jenn Carter thinks on her face, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
She'll tell you.
So yeah, exactly. Or whether she's telling you or not, she'll tell you, right? And so I'll tell you the other thing too, about Ryan Hilliard. So I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. Bring it.
So, this is going to be circuitous, but stay with me.
Go ahead. I don't even know what that word means.
Should you pop it up on the screen for the other people?
For the people to see if they know it.
What's up, Maddie?
Can you spell it can you say it in a sentence?
Yeah.
Circuitous?
Maybe circuitous, not maybe just like scattered, connected dots, like ADHD, right?
There we go.
So I think we tend to think of personality as like how a person behaves, right? In any like given situation. I think personality is driven somewhat by what are the sensory and mindful things that people are picking up that they're responding to, and that gets expressed as personality, right? It's like, what is your antenna tuned into? What are you seeing that's like sort of your unique perspective that drives how you act, right? And I think for people who have a sensitive mind or an active mind, our experience moving through the world is a little different than other people's experience. And so we seem hyper because we're responding to what's happening inside all the time, right? You with me, Jenn Carter? You with me, Ryan Hilliard?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So
I'm in.
we're watching a different movie.
Yeah, I do feel that way.
So
often.
yeah. So and you have the sense like any like big room full of people that you're in, there's something a little bit different about you. Right? Just a little. Not that you can't fit, not that you can't squeeze in, but it's there, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I was at the tailgate. I was talking to your Rachel, and I think you said, let's go take a picture.
Yeah.
And said, will you take our picture? So I walk over to your Rachel. I said, Ryan wants to take a picture with you. He'll be here in about 10 minutes.
Because he's talking to everybody.
and Rachel said, okay, probably realistically more like 20. but okay, so I'm standing there with your Rachel, and we're just kind of watching Ryan as he's like working the crowd, like bouncing through, talking to this person and that person. And I'm just seeing, you pick up like so much about people. You tune into them. You always want to make people feel like they have your attention. You're hearing them, you're seeing them, and that's part of what makes you so successful as a real estate agent. But what you're reacting to in that social scenario that your senses are picking up is different than almost everybody else in the room. And the same thing's true with collab and all of our meetings. You know, you got Ryan back there, 6 espressos deep, everything Todd's, Todd says, amen, brother Todd. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's
brother.
Kicks it up a notch.
he is. But that's just the most natural thing in the world for him. And so you think about, like, so many people have those kinds of tendencies, and that gets squashed because it's too much for people. It makes other people uncomfortable. And so I have to think, like, Ryan, like, your family must have been, like, the most supportive, like, nurturing people in the world to give you permission to just be that way and not feel any kind of way about it.
No doubt.
And
I'm sure.
Am I reading that? Am I reading that right?
Well, I'm sure. And I've got a son who's my middle son who I think is the exact same as me. And I'm learning to give him the freedom just to be, do your thing, bro. Just, in a way, because me and him being so similar, it kind of drives me nuts. And then I'm like, but
That's a little me.
It is, but that's me. And I'm like, dang, and I know that was little me. And I see some of those old VHS movies of me, early 90s, late 80s. And I'm like, dang, that's me right there.
Me.
I gotta let him let him flower out to just who he is.
You crush that, it's painful, right?
Yeah, I don't want to crush that. I don't want him to feel free.
What a gift to be able to see the world through little you's eyes.
Yes.
Right?
Who knows?
So anyway, the point of this story, kind of watching
Thank you for those kind words.
Well, I'm not there yet.
Not yet.
Kind of watching you through the brokerage environment and just be loud, present, like 10 out of 10, maybe sometimes 11, Ryan. and everyone treat that kind of as like Ryan's his own gift, and it's like a special thing that he brings to the culture and the conversation. I kind of have that like hyperactive thing in me too. It's expressed a different way. And a lot of times when I was growing up, my mom had it too, and it was like, Thad, like, slow your roll, dude. Like, too much. Like, we want to get out of this class, so we need you to stop talking to the professor. And then it's getting yelled at, talking too much, right? Because there's just all this noise you're responding to in here. And I remember the same thing with my mom. There were times you couldn't have paid my mom $1 million to finish the story that she was in the middle of, right? Because it's just like that's who she was, right? And so I can tell you, we have this big tradition at our high school of homecoming. And we do it unlike any other school. The entire school assembles. We have talent competition, cheers. It's a very Lawrence County tradition. Homecoming is.
Lawrence
It
County,
is.
right?
It is. LCHS, go Dogs. So
Well,
Well,
I see. Big city girl here. So I can tell you, my senior year, there's every class has a homecoming skit, and there are a group of people that get together and do the homecoming skit. I play one small part in the skit. Someone asks me a question. I give a long answer to the question, and about 50 people who are all in the skit says, "Shut up, Thad," in unison.
no.
That was my entire part in my senior class homecoming skit, because it was true to form, right?
Right.
And so watching my mom in that experience, I've learned how to sort of like tone myself down a little bit and like, you're being kind of weird here. It's a little bit much. Like maybe that person didn't need to know all that.
Just a couple pieces, not the whole thing.
That podcast setup here, it's a little extra. I know it is.
No, it's good, baby.
But I would say watching you and seeing the way other people reward you for being who you are is giving me a little bit of permission in our environment to just turn it up to 10 and not feel bad about saying too much and being too much, because I think in a lot of ways, like that's the gift that I have that expresses itself through real estate. And then that all goes back to Simba looking at himself in the faucet and seeing who he is. Right? Circuitous.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Well, dude,
A little callback.
that's awesome. I'll just say our office is fun, it's energetic, and I think that all three of you are a huge part of that, because everybody brings something to the whole. It's like everybody in our office brings something to the whole piece of the puzzle that makes it such a unique and fun place to work. So I appreciate that. I'm not good at accepting compliments. I never have been. I don't like them. I'd rather give them out than get them.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. So I
Tough
appreciate
luck.
it. Yeah, tough luck. I'm going to own it here, and I'm going to let you bring it on me. So thank you.
So Jen, do you relate to kind of what I'm saying a little bit? Maybe a little bit about Ryan, but just kind of the ADHD kind of thing.
yeah. So
little bit. Oh, TB's on here. Look out. Blakeman.
Teresa, you want to come wrap this up with a song with me here in a little while?
Bring your guitar.
No, I mean, I've always, probably from, going into social work and different career fields that I looked at, they were all going to be in the public, doing something, out and about, talking, moving, whatever. I can't sit still. I was probably had the most, teacher notes, can't sit still, won't quit talking. She's probably going to fail because she can't take notes, Right. You can tell when people take notes and half their page are doodles or different color pen. Like, that's the only way I can focus.
You have to be just distracted enough to be able to focus.
Yeah,
and that's what people don't get, right?
So, and I don't know, how are your all's, Rachel's? I don't know. So I'm married to an introvert.
Same, 100% same.
Who has no, not even a lick of ADHD.
Nary a lick.
And so
I tell you.
Our conversations are, they're very different. And it takes some time, right, to figure out how to communicate with your partner. Because if you're telling me something and I'm typing, I know what you're saying. Why do I have to look at you, right?
Like,
So
you don't know what I'm
just
saying.
learning how to be in different.
Joe's the man.
Joe
is the man.
Saint.
And there's a little bit of like somebody gets 5 or 6 words in, and you know what the next 2 paragraphs are going to be.
Yeah.
But
Do
they
you
have
tune
to
out?
say
You just
it.
automatically tune out?
And, well, you either tune out or you like hyperfixate a little bit because you're like, I want to make sure that you know that I'm paying attention and that I'm not ignoring you. And so you're just doing that like, Is this too much eye contact? Is this too much? Like what? And you're like thinking you got the dialogue running, right? It's like, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Oh man.
But
So-
to your point about Joe, I think that zero ADHD structured person is such a good balance for us scattered
Could you imagine
extrovert
having 2
ADHD
spazzes
people.
living together? We wouldn't get anything done.
And I think that comes certainly with right.
A little bit of my house. a little
Nothing
bit.
would get accomplished.
Yeah. No.
And it comes with its own set of challenges,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like we're responding.
Rachel Hilliard on the line.
Oh shoot. Oh no. Yeah.
You
This is our
cannot
nightly
do
experience.
2 things at once.
No, I can't. No, this is our nightly experience from 9 to 10 o'clock at night. My poor lovely wife. Oh no, we are that meme where it's like, anyway. There's lots of memes, but we are the meme of husband very aloof.
And you're like,
yeah. And that's her
This one-
time, 9 to 10 at night.
Yeah.
Kids are down. Time to get some. Anyway, we'll talk love languages.
And you're
another
absolutely spent selling real estate and talking to people all day long. And it's like
Being
you
with the
you want to be
kids,
present
sometimes.
for her, but it's like not a lot left in the tank at that point. It's a struggle for me too. And most of the time, I'm living and responding to the narrative that's playing in my head that my wife isn't privy to. She doesn't know what I'm responding to. She's living in the external world, and she's like, "Hey, like, where are you? Oh,
Uh-oh.
we have a first guest.
Is this a sales
This
call?
is
who's
a
calling?
Joseph Carter. Anybody know who Joseph Carter is?
We got a live call. Wow.
He's a great listener.
Joe,
He
make sure to
is,
turn your radio dial on. Joe,
great-
you're on line 1.
He's a great cook. This isn't marriage counseling, right?
This introvert don't work her phone.
Here it goes. Let's go.
What?
I didn't get right online. I didn't know if there was going to be a pause or whatever.
This isn't the Pat McAfee show, Joe. There's no way.
You're on the air, sir.
You're live in action, brother.
Live. Well, I appreciate Hilliard calling me the man. I just want to call it, I think the brokerage has a great team. I don't know if you all have any introverts in the brokerage, but you all have a good personality. So just wanted to call out. Thank you all for the nice comments.
Lord.
Hey, man, what an
Stud.
awesome call. Love it. Joe, I don't know if you know, you are the first ever call-in guest on the podcast.
Really?
And you
There
always
we go.
will be as we keep it going.
There we go. I was just
Man.
thinking back, would love to have that setup that you have there.
Todd back on the Toddcast.
Yeah, well,
We'd love to have
Toddcast.
I'm just going to call Todd back out real quick. Been trying to do a Todd back podcast for about 18 months now. So, Todd, you have an open invitation.
I think it's retired.
Is Todd on here?
elusive.
Toddcast retired.
He was.
Oh, he was on here.
But Joe, man, good for you for keeping Jen grounded and keeping the trains moving on time, just like mine and Ryan's Rachel does.
Someone has to.
Thank God for Joe.
Little would get done if it wasn't for Joe.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of that, you did pick up our daughter. Right?
I thought you had that.
Whoops.
Well, awesome for having me. This introvert's been on here too long.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, buddy, we'll see you.
No.
It's the longest phone conversation we've ever had.
What a dude. That's awesome. What a guy.
So,
Very good. Sorry.
let's see what we have here.
Did Jen ever say? Did you say your favorite Christmas movie? I didn't want
Oh,
to lose
yeah.
that. I didn't want to lose that.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
I have a full-size pink zip-up onesie.
Yes.
And you're not wearing it.
Well, I'm glad because it's a little warm in here.
Oh wait, it would be hot. Let's get that fan on.
So Christmas Story, I think, is my grandmother's favorite movie. It's my dad's favorite movie.
My dad's too. Yeah.
He has, we love the leg lamp. We love everything about Ralphie. So
It's a major award.
And they are, they are outside Cleveland natives. So I think
So you've been to the house, I take it.
I've never been to the house. I think my dad went a couple years ago. I think he was up there and went. But no, I've never been. But I have looked, and it's an Airbnb.
Oh.
Joe, if you're still listening,
Hint,
be a
hint, Joe.
good little trip.
Joe.
Yeah.
How about that? That's awesome.
But that
was
is
my
my
dad's
favorite
favorite
Christmas
too.
movie, yeah.
For whatever reason, the dad character in that one resonated so much with my dad, and he would just crack up every year at that. Like I crack up at Christmas Vacation. That dad's yelling at the dogs to get out of the kitchen, and rah, 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 just like every time. It never
Cussing
failed.
at the furnace.
Cussing at the furnace. Yes, and it's blowing smoke, coal smoke at you. My kids are scarred from the tongue scene, the tongue on the pole.
Oh, yes.
My kids will
Yeah,
not
they'll
watch it
never
again.
do that.
They will
They
not
won't.
watch it. Yeah. She's like, never ever do I want to see that movie again. Can't unsee that part.
So talking about generational, like your dad resonates with Christmas Story because there's a time component. We resonate with Christmas Vacation because those were our formative childhood years, right? So something that I think about. I don't have children often. I don't have children yet at all. Don't go there. Don't do it. Don't do it to me.
Are we ready to talk about this? Is your Rachel on? Are we ready?
So
He's live.
Who?
stay with me.
I'll tell you how that happens. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So something I think about a lot is what the experience of Christmas is like for me at 35 versus what the experience of it was like for me as a kid, and just how that feels and how it's different. And you look at the time component, the age that we live in, culturally, technologically, is very different. And then there's like the age, piece of it too. And it's sometimes it can be really hard for me to suss out, like, do kids that are going through Christmas now experience it with the same magic and mystique that we did whenever, we were 6, we were 8, we were 10? There's probably an amount of it, but pre-internet, there was a lot of mystery in the world. There wasn't nearly as much novelty. Things that, were a significant cultural phenomenon, like a certain video game coming out or a certain movie coming out. Any event would have like this huge, impact on the collective consciousness, right? And that was really exciting. But now it's like when you're inundated with a million things, every minute of every day, I just wonder, like, do kids like now do they feel the Christmas magic the same way that we did? So what's that like for you all?
So we do, I think so, because we do a lot of traditions. So every year we do the exact same Christmas stuff. And so that's something that she can look forward to. We go to Louisville. I think it's been every year. The past couple of years, the Lights Under Louisville, we do that. We do dinner. And so she looks forward to that.
How is that? That Lights Under Louisville,
it's
pretty
amazing.
cool? Okay.
It's,
Okay.
yeah,
Might
we're going
be added to the
Saturday.
list.
We're going Saturday, yeah.
Sounds busy.
You want a fun fact? You can
Yes.
go anytime because it's underground in a cave. So you could go at noon. You could go any time of day because it's dark.
Lights are always on.
So don't wait till the evening. Yeah,
Oh,
we
man.
go about 2, 3
Okay.
o'clock.
Oh,
Ryan's father-in-law.
my father-in-law hopping on. What a guy. Hi, Billy. Bill Adams.
Sorry.
What an absolute legend.
But yeah, I think part of the Christmas magic is keeping the same traditions. You have something to look forward to.
That's it.
We still do a big Christmas Eve at my mama's in Ashland. So our entire family, cousins, uncles, aunts, we still go there. Then we go to my mom's house where Joe, this would be a good time if Josie's listening to turn that off. But we still get our gifts from Santa Claus at my mom's house. So my mom did a great job with Christmas traditions.
I was worried
doing
Santa
that.
wasn't going to make it out there last year.
Why?
Remember that snowstorm?
ice storm?
Yeah.
Cold.
We drove.
magic.
That was treacherous drive from northern Kentucky.
Was
Yeah.
treacherous.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about seeing 20 feet in front of
Yeah.
you at any given time on the ice.
So
But it was kind of awesome at the
Yeah.
same time. It's like if
Great
you
memory.
if you
Christmas, everything
survive,
was
it's
closed
like
down.
that's it, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I remember we were texting each other, you and me, Morgan, because we were all headed east, and it was like we're gonna pull over at the Olive Hill exit and
There's
just
a
maybe sleep in the
stretch.
car.
So if nobody knows, there's a stretch of 64 that has no sun. There-
Or cell service.
Or cell service. Yeah, so it's but the one place
gas
you'll wreck
stations.
is the one
Or
place
gas
you will
stations.
not
You used to
get
have Smoky
service.
Valley truck stop, but it's
That-
gone.
It's gone. But
We
that
ate there
I was
once.
gonna say you go to Cave Run, so you're
Yeah.
familiar with that little stretch.
Is it past
of-
Moorhead on the way to Ashland?
Yeah,
That's
so
that
past,
stretch?
past
Oh, yeah.
the
Feels
that
dicey.
exit. Very, yeah. So I was texting. I think Morgan was passing through. You were passing through. Like, what mile are you at?
Give you
It's a little
the
scary.
make it.
update.
Yeah.
It really was.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we all picked the exact wrong time to drive, on the trip. Okay, so you think tradition is a key part of that, and kids
think so.
do kind of.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like they still
Yeah.
do.
I'm excited. Like your kids.
I know you have older
Me?
kids.
Oh, mine
Christy
are older.
but yours were
No,
born
we still
like
get
early
the
2000s?
Does
When
Santa
were your
Claus
kids
still
born?
have-
Oh gosh, Caroline was 95, so she's
There we go.
20. Yeah, she just turned 28. I have a 28, 25, and 23. No, we still keep the same traditions, decorating the tree, turning the music on.
Yes.
Keep it the same.
I can picture Christy's house at Christmas.
I want to be at Christie's at
the
Christmas.
holiday Jolly.
Christy's new kitchen.
Oh,
My
yes.
kitchen.
I-
Yes, in the kitchen of Christy P.
I guarantee you.
But actually, it's Anthony. He does most of the. Well, we do a traditional Christmas Eve. Anthony does Italian. It's the Feast of Seven Fishes. So Anthony makes a
Let's go.
wonderful seafood, cold seafood salad.
What are the 7 fish?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
It's like a 7-layer salad.
Lobster,
7 levels of the candy cane forest.
octopus, shrimp,
What day is this?
Christmas Eve. All right, that's only 3. Come
three,
on,
very good.
Anthony needs a call in.
Anthony. Phone a friend. Okay.
Clams.
Clams. Are those fish?
You have mussel?
Yes. Huh?
Mussel?
Mussels.
Wow.
Mussels.
Wow, this is good.
I think he cheats. I think he only
Tuna?
does 6, and then we do like crab legs for like our main dinner and
That
pasta.
counts.
So it's. If his mother's listening, she's probably going to go, "That's wrong," but mix it up the night before and it marinates. It's delicious. If you all need the
Do
recipe.
you mix it all into one? Is that how it
Yes. He gets the
Wow.
fish at different places. We picked up some lobster tails at Costco a couple weeks ago because sometimes that's hard to find.
Well, you got to go the day they put them out, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Go to the day to put them out. We go to Whole Foods, and but with doing that, the cookies and the tradition of cooking and being together and all of those dishes, and they still like the same cookies. Christmas morning, I make my coffee cake and baked eggs Benedict, and so they. Want that, and even though you don't have the magic of, you still have the magic of Santa.
Oh, yeah.
Got to keep it alive.
It's not, for me, it was never really about that, though.
Oh no,
It
no.
is,
right,
even when
but-
I was a kid, like, well, secret, Mom would not allow me to believe in Santa Claus. It was like that. But even still, I do think the family, the warmth, the traditions, the groundedness of like stepping away from everything for a minute,
right,
so important.
slowing down,
So
right.
important.
Is there anything better? Like, know where your families and Rachel's families, but like just to take your kids home and let them play with their cousins and just, I mean, you remember that, just going and, you know, just
Cut
having that.
loose.
I think that's part of the magic. And
Yes,
it's
it
fun
is.
just to watch, you know, her play with my sister's kids or with my sister-in-law, my other, you know, nieces on Joe's side. And so I think that's part of like just the magic.
Oh yeah.
No question. And it's, to me, it's been interesting. You know, I don't get to spend nearly as much time with my Eastern Kentucky family as I used to, but my cousins and aunts and uncles all, you know, a lot of them have kids, and it's really interesting to see how kids change from year to year, and how those dynamics with the way they play with each other, and then the way they talk to us, the way they play with, you know, Rachel, how that compares from year to year just on the holidays, because it's like they're all different people from Christmas to Christmas, and it's every year it's just kind of a different kind of fun, right?
Oh yeah.
So do you have any Christmas traditions with the boys?
All kinds of stuff. Yeah, but I mean, it's just it's still the good news. I feel like if you keep your kids, we keep our kids pretty guarded from some of the technological stuff.
You got an elf?
This is our first year with the elf. First year with the elf. His name is Jolly, and he was named. And today a cardinal sin happened. He was touched by our youngest Jack, who maybe means he can't fly around the house.
Now it's over. You don't have to do it anymore.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
He's dead. He gone. He might be in the trash when I get him.
We don't do elf. I don't know.
We did. This is my first year of the elf. They had friends that had an elf last year, and so they're like, surely we'll have one this year. So we got one last year, or he came this year. Excuse me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So every night, you know, it's like Rach and I are going to bed, and it's like, did you move the elf? No. Okay, get down.
I'm
Gonna
glad
move
we
it.
missed that.
Let me move the elf.
There's a lot to this. This will be a whole nother podcast episode from
That's
somebody
right.
that moving
Elf on the shelf.
elf on the shelf. He's got to be somewhere else every day, and he's got to be looking at something else and laying it somewhere fun or doing something dirty. I don't know. I'm learning. It's like day 5. I'm freaking out.
You should go ahead and prepare what you're going to do.
Yeah, man, get ready.
It's either
You have
yes
to
or
have
no.
a 25-year plan or
You're
25
either in
day
it or you're
plan.
out.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with the 1 year plan, if I'm being honest with y'all.
Good.
I just mean generally.
I just want to make it through most days.
Yeah, we're
That's
just,
right. Like,
we're just to surviving the
trying to
day.
get to January, and we'll
Right.
see from there.
Yep.
So talking about this present moment, uncertainty, right? So, you know, obviously, been a weird few years since 2019, 2020 for everybody, particularly for us real estate agents. Been absolute just like unprecedented roller coaster for what we do and for our market, and then a lot of uncertainty coming our way now going into the future. And I think everybody's sort of looking at how do we shape and mold and play defense in our business and connect deeply with our clients right now so that we can sustain it going into the future and make sure we're bringing the value that we need to be bringing to people and that people see it and people understand it, right? And so, you know, I really like what John said at the summit, which is like pour into your people, because I think as much as interest rates in business can be cyclical, relationships are not. And if you care enough about your people and they know that and they care enough about you, that really is the best insurance and the best protection you can have in real estate, because they want to see you do well just as much as you want to see them do well. And also it's a better way to live life, and it's better. Those are the relationships that are better to spend your time with, right? But so you got these questions in real estate. You've got, the Ukraine, you got, the Israel conflict, you have inflation, you have election year coming up, you have just like another emergency headline every single day. And it's just like, it feels like we just, ever since Harambe, we go from one emergency to the next, to the next, to the next, every single day. It's Harambe, and then Kobe died, and then COVID happened like 2 weeks right after that. I was at open house and got a call, Kobe died, and I was like, I was crushed, bro.
Me too.
Crushed. Because I remember
Sunday morning.
Open house too.
I was
funny.
too.
It was January, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
The
all at open. It was
the
a
98
Sunday,
All-Star
like at 3
game.
o'clock.
Yes. Oh,
Sorry.
98
I
was a
really
crush.
remember that.
no, I was there too.
98 All-Star game, Jordan's last Bulls All-Star game, Kobe's first All-Star game, 18, had the afro. Who is this kid? he's shooting threes from the "I love this game" logo at half court, knocking him down, and it felt like that was the moment where it was like Jordan passes the torch to Kobe, and his game was molded after that. And so I didn't grow up a Lakers fan, but then Jordan retired, and it was like I had to have a guy. So Kobe was my guy at that point, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I wasn't done growing up whenever that happened, and so it was the world changed that day.
It did.
It changed that day, and then it really changed like a month later, whenever the pandemic hit, right? So anyway, connecting a lot of dots here. Something that people, I think we've been conditioned to roll our eyes at because we see people like, flexing on like social media, and it's like, look at this pretty dinner I had, and look at this vacation I'm on, and it's like #blessed, right? It's like, it's a meme, right? When people talk about gratitude, like gratitude is always just like a disguise for me showing you how awesome my life is, right?
Yeah.
And I think really, and I always kind of like rolled my eyes at it because when gratitude was thrown at me when I was a kid, a lot of times it was kind of a retort, like kind of punishment. It was like I'll be complaining about something, like upset, and mom would be like, "Count your blessings, son. You better count your blessings." Right? I'm like, "Oh, okay, mom." Right?
Too blessed to stress.
and so it's like, I think when there is this like uncertainty and we feel this sort of stress, like internally, from all that interest all the time, I think a great way to ground ourselves and push back against that is like really to do that concentrated practice of gratitude. That's hard to do.
Agreed.
And it's not something that just happens on its own, something you have to make an effort for, because there's always something you're struggling with. There's always a question that you have. But if you look around, really, there's no shortage of miracles that we live within. I mean, you look at the job that we're able to do, the people we have relationships with, the fact that we get to live here, the fact that we can sit here and have this awesome conversation and stream it live on the internet in front of God and everybody. It's like there's miracles all around us, but like fish don't know they live in water, right? And so I think it would be fun to kind of take a look back on what are some of the high points for you all in this weird year of 2023. What are your favorite experiences from this year?
In business or?
No, business, life, just like what experiences, and it doesn't have to be like, you went to Paris and went to the top of the Eiffel Tower and, but it just, what were some of those meaningful experiences for you this year that you're most grateful for?
She's asking me to go?
We can bounce it around.
Because of travel.
We can bounce it around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just jump in.
We can just jump it in.
well, our third one just graduated from college in May, and I think that's absolutely, wonderful. They've got 3 grown adults, and they're all on their own, kind of, pretty much.
What an
Daughter's getting married
accomplishment.
next year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Huge.
So,
Yeah.
you just,
See, and I think she's a good example of what I think of. I think of like gratitude coming with humility in it. I think like what you said, where it's like gratitude, like always throwing it out there so the world can see how much you're doing or the life. I think the world's pulling back from that a little
right.
bit.
Those proud moments when they walk across the stage and you know how hard they worked.
That's where it
And
is.
She's so darn humble too.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She
So
is.
you just those little probably simple things that not simple, but when you'll see it when they walk across the stage, and that gosh, when they were just little bitty, and then how fast those years go, and just like wow, here we are. And so,
That's good. That's awesome. I think just what Christy said, it's obviously been an odd year just for a lot of things, not in business, but like just what's going on in the world and personally. Personally is actually, but it's
Tell
it's
us,
just
tell us about it. We're
I
here.
just think keeping the
Just us here.
we in the trust tree right now. Oh no, that's here. But
Don't worry about that.
Are we? I think what she said is what I was resonating with me. Was what I was thinking about was just keeping the simple things as some of the more of the big things to you. Like I've started taking a journal just so I'm a little bit morbid's not the right word, but I've lost both my parents. I want my kids to have some recounts of what's happening day to day in our life, and I want them to remember what's going on. So in case something ever happens to me, I do take a journal. That's not the only reason, but Also, we talked about ADHD and my brain, I'm one thing to the next all the time. And my brain is always thinking about what's coming next, which doesn't allow you to live so much in the present.
Well, and that's why gratitude's a struggle.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're always looking at the next thing. And it's like, that's already happened. What's the next thing I have to do? What's the next disaster I have to avoid? Right?
Right. And that's the nature of our work. The nature of our work is that we're looking 30 to 60 days out all the time. Mm-hmm. And we're always looking at what's coming and what can we do to get better. And this time of year, we're planning in our business for what's coming the next year when we don't know really what's coming. We have maybe a small idea, but I think that is why, yes, gratitude. And so that journal, a big part of it is just gratitude for simple things. And I think about my wife, my kids, friends, colleagues. It's just like, man, the people that have been placed in my life and where we get, or where we can't take where we get to live lightly, because Lexington is just, I think Lexington is freaking awesome. And I think it's a great place to live. I think Kentucky's great. Anyway, a lot to be thankful for, but also a lot to just process on. And the big thing for me is just taking time to be quiet so that I can hear and unhurried, look back on this year and think about what it was that I should be grateful and thankful for. So I'll hang up and listen.
So stay with me for a second. So you did the Wrigley Field games during the Canadian wildfire smoke.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
When that was like the worst place at the worst moment for it, and I don't know how you survived it because I was struggling here upstairs at Stolen Horse Trace.
Right.
What are the other highlights for
Moments?
You? Highlight reel for this year.
That was funny. I'm taking my boy Theo, who is named slightly after Theo Epstein, who's the Cubs GM that led us to our first World Series in 108 years, to Wrigley Field for his first trip. Me and some other dads and their boys, and we get about halfway up there to Indianapolis. I'm like, man, it sure is cloudy. We're like, it is very, very cloudy, and we didn't know what was going on, and it ended up being that there were those the smoke from the Canadian wildfire. Chicago was literally the worst place to be for air quality in the whole world. And we're like, we're going in, and so we didn't know if the game would be played that night. We didn't find that out till we were north of Indianapolis driving. And so lots going through the brain, but they played the game. We went back to backs. The idea was we'd go to night game, day game. We ended up going to night game against the Phillies. Cubs lost both, but just so many little simple memories like that. We got to go to, talk about family traditions. I had traditions as a kid. We went to Kentucky Lake in Western Kentucky growing up. My kids go to the Panhandle for fall break every year. It feels like fall's a good time for real estate to kind of reset. And so we had a great trip with some really close friends to the Panhandle down near Destin, between Destin and Panama City Beach. And those little things. Those are the times, like we were talking about Christmas, where you can step back and kind of just be very present. It's amazing how those are our best moments. And so these dang things, these distraction machines here, that's where my lovely wife Rachel's talking about how, I don't know, hopefully she is no longer with us, but that, it's hard for me to lock in with her at night because of these guys and thoughts going through my brain.
That's a little bit my bad.
Lot of my bad. Huge my bad. But lots of cool experiences this year. 2023 was awesome. I'm so thankful every year that's not COVID anymore.
Oh
so
my
it's
gosh.
so I'm thankful any year that's some normalcy. Amen.
It's facts, bro.
Yeah.
For real. No cap.
Pledge of allegiance.
No cap.
No cap. No cap.
Jen, what you got?
Gosh, this year I think it's flown by, first of all.
Yes.
But everything, I only have one daughter. I don't know if y'all know that. I only have one child in general. So one, and I feel like every time she does something cool or milestone is just the best thing ever for me. So
That's awesome.
Just to watch her grow, in sports or in school, and just accomplish things that she wants to do are I'm done. That's all I need.
I'm happy.
So, I don't know. Joe coaches her soccer and basketball. Ryan would have known that, but his daughter quit our team.
That did. She not only quit your team, she quit the league. It wasn't
all
just.
out.
It wasn't. Yeah, she said, "I'm really done." No basketball in my future.
Joe does something really cool
good.
for his soccer girls and his
us
basketball girls, where he always coordinates with the UK women's teams to where our girls get to go and be recognized at the UK women's soccer
Oh, that's cool.
and the UK women's basketball. And so this year, when the women are playing at Rupp because for every game because the renovations at theirs. And so our girls got to play on Rep Arena, and Josie made a shot on the 10-foot goal, and
Wow.
this kid, you talk about humility, never gets excited, never cheers for herself. So UK snapped a photo of her after her shot, just
Fierce.
in like, you know,
That's
she let her
huge.
guard down, kind of celebration. And for me, I cried right there on
see?
Rep Arena
Oh,
I get it.
floor.
The
It's
best.
the little
Lost my-
things,
yes.
Jen.
Show
And
that to
I
the
was
camera. Come on.
I mean, never ever have I been more proud.
Yes,
of a
that's
child.
amazing.
And then another cool thing. So aside from real estate, I am a part of a really cool charity here in town. That's a local charity called Attitude of Gratitude, which I had nothing to do with naming.
Speaking of,
I had nothing
Hey.
to do with naming.
what a segue.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the whole setup for this thing anyway.
No, this has nothing to do with that.
put the link in the
so,
comments.
So, Attitude of Gratitude is a local adoption charity, and so it was founded by one of my team team leaders, Josh Lynch, and his wife. But basically, we do fundraisers every year, and this year it was so shocking to see. Coming off of we had a fundraiser, we had COVID, so we couldn't fundraise. Then we fundraised some last year. We had a huge turnout this year for our golf tournament. And we were able to give 5 families money towards their adoption this year,
man.
which
Come
was
on.
our biggest
Come on.
Wow.
chunk of money and our most families that we've been able to help. And so Josh's wife and I interview all of the applicants. And again, I'm a crier. So every time these families are telling us their story, we're doing Zoom interviews. I have to step away and ugly cry because it's just such an experience.
real.
And so that will humble you in a second to just realize how blessed you are for real, blessed to be in the position that we're in. So that's something
amazing.
that's really cool.
That is. That's so
Great.
cool.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it cool how when you serve
Shout out
others?
to Josh
No doubt. Gosh.
for
it's-
bringing me on there.
I don't know about y'all, but I mean, that's part of our business that I've always felt like I'm at my best when I'm thinking about others before myself. So
for sure.
Right.
pretty cool
Right.
that you doing that brings you to life.
Yeah.
You know? So
Right.
And that's not virtue signaling, man. It's actually more fun.
it's real.
It's more motivating.
Yes.
You know, I've been far more satisfied with some of the, $200,000 houses that I've helped first-time home buyers buy that maybe they wouldn't have been able to get into that were
Right.
tough deals
That's
than
the
I
best
have
feeling.
That's my favorite.
necessarily
client.
like
too.
the
It's my
high dollar
favorite.
ones,
It's-
right? Yeah, because
Yes.
you're really doing a service for somebody who just wouldn't have a clue, wouldn't know what to do otherwise. A lot of times they
Absolutely.
really appreciate you, they really listen to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, man. Those are the moments, and that's one of the things that I think draw me to this. So there's the ADHD piece of real estate, which is it's a good way to be in a business that you're not in somebody else's box.
Yeah.
You can take who you are, to it in whatever way you want to and be successful according to really who you are. But it's also, I've had other sales jobs and I never wanted to have a sales job at all. I don't like sales, but selling ceiling fans or cell phones where people scream, but it really doesn't matter that much. What we do is we get to help people during some of the biggest transitions in their life. And if we're doing it right, that's how we think about it. And it's this place that we're going to get you into or get you out of is that's where you move when you get married. That's where your children are going to grow up. Right. That's where those Christmas traditions, like you're talking about, and those moments over the course of those lifetimes, that's where that's going to happen. And it's not just location and appreciation and investment. I really think the spaces that we spend our time in, shape our interactions, and those interactions become our relationships, and then those relationships become the stories of our lives in some sense. And so I think what we do, we slow down, it really, really, really matters a lot to people. And I think if you think about that first, the money always takes care of itself. And also it's the best insurance you can have, kind of like what you're talking about in this business, right?
Right.
Can I do a few 2023 moments?
Bro, I was waiting.
Yeah.
So I saw that
I
look.
ain't saying-
Yeah.
No, it's good. Seriously. We're going around. We did that.
So when I was between my junior and senior high school, I did a performance program, and I lived in the Back Bay on 270 Commonwealth Avenue in Boston, and it was just a summer, but that summer was one of the most formative and determinant experiences of the course of the rest of my life. Some of my best friends to this day that live across country, and some of them in different countries, were people that I met that summer in Boston. And in 2008, I decided to go back to visit that place. We had a band, and there was a guy that was currently at Berklee College of Music that we were going to recruit for the band. We had a whole scheme. And so we had already made a record. We were working with John Ewing, who produced, I don't know if you heard of him, Linkin Park. And he said, we'll work with you. We'll make your record. It'll cost this much money. And I was like, okay, we're going to do that. We have to have like a for real singer. So I fly up to Boston, and I'm trying to recruit this guy, Bill Bloom. On the way home, so on that around that time, I had my first smartphone, which is a BlackBerry Curve, which was pretty bougie at the moment.
I never had a
Not me
BlackBerry.
either.
Sounds fancy.
It was,
that's
and I
like
had the
complicated.
I had the Bluetooth headset, bro.
Bluetooth headset?
Bro, yeah.
Wow.
Talking on the phone without even holding the phone.
Yeah. No.
Come on.
No.
I know, it was revolutionary.
Come on.
So on that trip home, connector in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're grounded. We're stuck on the runway for probably an hour.
Were you on U.S. Scareways?
I was.
U.S. Airways?
You were probably on my
was.
flight.
Oh,
Man, can you
Did I
imagine?
comp you a drink?
yes. Back then,
You probably weren't 21.
He had a fake ID.
Yeah.
I was not. That's
There
correct.
you go.
So
You got water.
yeah. So we're sitting there, and that week, the very first Facebook app for any smartphone was added to be able to download to a smartphone. So I'm sitting there on the runway, and I download the Facebook app. So not only do you have the Bluetooth headset where you can talk on the phone without holding the phone, but you have Facebook on a phone. Okay? So this is a great way to kill time.
Right.
I'm scrolling through, and there's a girl from my hometown who we had mutual friends, but I wasn't, close with. I knew her dad was a preacher at the biggest church in my town.
Okay.
And we'd met, but we didn't really know each other that well. But she was actually at UK. She was going to be doing the MBA program with my brother. And so
She's smart.
I'm scrolling through, and she posts, and she says, is anyone going from Lexington to Louisa this weekend? I need a ride to Louisa because it's going to be, I'm going to get together with my first cousin because she's getting married. And so I said, I may be going to Louisa, not 100% sure, but just keep me in your back pocket. And if you don't work it out with somebody else, get a hold of me.
You're sitting next to her on the airplane?
No, I'm talking to someone on the Facebook app
Oh,
that
on
I
the
just
Facebook app.
that I
Okay,
just
it wasn't
downloaded
clear.
for the
Okay.
first time. No, it was a good question because I probably wasn't real clear on that. So this is one of the first ever Facebook statuses I saw on the first Facebook app on a phone that had just come out. Right?
Right, okay.
I'm like, you can
Just
call me,
download
maybe
it.
I can do it. Right?
In the 90s.
Call me maybe.
Yeah, call me maybe. Yeah, exactly. So a couple weeks goes by, and I get a phone call, and I'm like, hello? And she's like, hello. And I'm like, how'd you get my number? Who is this? She's like, Rachel. And I'm like, Rachel who? And she's like, Rachel Frazier. And I'm like, oh, yeah. She's like, remember you said you could take me to Louisa? I'm like, I did say that.
She's calling it in.
Oh.
So we do that Louisa trip, and really that weekend we just really bonded together on the trip to Louisa and the trip back to Lexington, and visiting with her family and visiting with her with mine, and just understanding we have similar sort of sensitivities and similar worldviews.
Wait, you
That's
met
your
each other's
first date?
parents
Is that your
the
first
first
date?
time
That
y'all
was your
rode
first date?
together?
You met her on the app?
I knew her parents when we were kids.
What, you met her on Facebook app when I can't believe this.
Stuck on an airplane in Charlotte.
Wow.
The day that like 5 minutes after I downloaded the first Facebook app,
Gosh.
we connected, and then we went to Louisa for the weekend because of that. And then we just stayed connected.
That needs to be a movie.
What a
Yeah.
date.
So
That is a Hallmark movie.
Yes, it is.
That's Christmas in Louisa.
next,
Christmas in
That's it.
Louisa. Come on,
book it. We'll get you a Yatesville Lake cabin.
bro.
No,
So-
I can't. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
awesome.
Great story. That's better than the bar in Queens.
Better in a bar.
it is not.
No, I think it
At least
is.
you got New York.
Both valuable.
I got Moorhead.
So circling back to this year, was that Cutters? What?
It was at that time called Roadrunners.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. That is
So-
so funny.
Rachel had never been to Boston, and this year, so yep, it's true.
There it is. There it is.
Why would I lie about a thing like that?
Listening.
It's true.
Entertainment.
So Rachel had never been to Boston, and we decided to book a trip to go stay in the Back Bay for a few days this summer because Rachel's favorite band, Yellow Card, was having a reunion. It was their 20th anniversary. We didn't realize then we had seen them on their 10th anniversary, just coincidentally, when they played in South Carolina. And they had broken up a few years earlier and said, we're never going to be a band again. They had storage units. They sold the gear. They were like legit, like never get back together because they would tour. Nobody would see them. Like Pop Punk was kind of over. And so they play a couple shows in 2023. They sell out immediately, and they're like, oh, shoot.
We're here.
Maybe we're back.
We're back.
So they book a show at Fenway Hall, the music hall attached to Fenway Park, like on that same block there. And Rachel and I were like, well, we've always wanted to do the Boston trip. We got to go see Yellow Card at the reunion on the 20th anniversary, right?
Oh,
So we go to that. Great show. They tell us it's the largest show they've ever played in the history of their band.
No
and they're
way.
like trying to hold back tears on stage.
amazing.
And it was kind of that moment for us too, because it was like, this is somebody we followed for 10 years. We're in Boston for the first time together. We're at Fenway Park, Fenway Hall, and we're kind of getting to have this moment with this band that we have this history with, right? Wow. So it gets better, right? Because we go to the dorm that I lived in, the building. So the way Berkeley's campus is set up is they own just like this random like assortment of buildings in the Back Bay in the same kind of neighborhood, but it's like you'll have a Berkeley building and then like, I don't know, Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, apartments, and then another Berkeley building, right? Just kind of spread out.
Makes sense.
Which in 06, a kid from Louisa there by himself, bro.
Oh, you're in.
Yeah.
Two restaurants?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to go to Ashland.
What restaurants are in Louisa? Do you have a Dairy Queen? Dairy Queen?
You have a Taco Bell?
So
No way.
we have the Birdhouse Taco Bell, world's fanciest Taco Bell.
What's that
which-
mean, birdhouse? Or is that a thing?
Bro, Cassidy, can you press button number 4, please?
You brought a picture?
Yeah, we need
God.
this.
Hit that picture in picture real
Let's
quick
see
too,
this.
please.
Oh my! I can't even. I don't even know what's about to happen.
Bro.
Is it a gas station?
That
Oh, wow.
What?
Castle.
when you arrive
What?
at Louisa, Kentucky,
Yep, that's who's there.
that's what you see.
Wow.
Did you see?
And so there's a gas station one side, and for the longest time, Taco Bell on the other side back here. We used to play concerts out here on the pavilion, and actually my farm is on the other side of 23, right over here. But that's a landmark. That's how you know you're in Louisa. And it is not a castle. It is a birdhouse. We want to be really clear about that.
Okay.
Why did this not become a thing? This could have been like Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
come
I
on,
know, right?
man. In the
Maybe
mid
not.
It is
in
the
the,
first piece of civilization you see.
in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
That and there was a Pizza Hut beside it. So all we had was we had fast food, a couple pizza places, and if we wanted to go somewhere fancy like Applebee's or Red Lobster, we had to go to Ashland or Huntington.
Okay.
Huntington. We didn't have Red Lobster.
So
You're highfalutin.
yeah.
Red Lobster.
So that's like mostly like an anniversary date kind of thing, right? So anyway, I got lost on Louisa. You asked about restaurants.
Sorry.
Okay, so anyway, we go back to Boston, and I walked down Commonwealth Avenue to show her the building where I lived, and the front door was open. And I just so happened to have my student ID from 2006 with me.
After how many years?
17.
You had your ID. Aw.
And so I walk up to the front desk and I say, this building formed me and my relationship with my wife. And this is the first time she's ever been here. Hi, buddy. That's Slash.
Special guest.
Special guest.
Hi, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right. All right. Can you sit for me? Can you sit for me? Thank you. So we walk up to the building, carry my ID into the front door, and I said, is there any way this ID is sufficient for you to trust me to show my wife this building? And so they said, today is the first day of the summer performance program, and all the kids are moving in, which is the same program that I did, coincidentally.
So many years ago.
17 years ago. We didn't plan that at all. We were there on move-in day at that dorm, and they said, just help yourself. And so I got to walk her through the building, show her the room where I lived, show her the practice room where I practice and where I met my friends and all the people that she knows. And that was...
Revisit all those.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was such like... It's such a part of our story to get to finally show her, this is where this happened, this is where this happened, this is where I met so-and-so.
Right.
It was such, like, I don't want to say closure, but just like closing the loop on like almost 20 years of really
But you
important
felt like you
life
were still
history.
there, at that time.
It felt
even though
exactly the
17 years
same.
had passed.
Well,
Right.
you go in and it's like
nothing
the
changed.
molding and the wallpaper and the paint,
Yes.
everything's still, and that's what's great about Boston is it doesn't change, right?
It doesn't change.
And so
'cause
it's like, if you could get the dogs, if you don't mind.
I think you and I were in Boston at almost the same time because we both talked about that. Because I went back to my old apartment and showed Anthony. I showed my Caroline, and it's just kind of like, oh, you're just kind of reliving your 20s, right? And
it's home, like
yes, it was home.
and I think we talked about this, but like in a world where everything feels so different and so unfamiliar, pretty much all the time, you walk through those neighborhoods and through those buildings and those places, and it's like.
Yeah.
It's pretty much exactly the same.
time, right.
And it's like, this feels like home. This feels like what I remember.
Yep.
And it was just like that feeling and the feeling of Rachel getting to see that and connecting all those dots and Yellow Card. Like, that was one of the all-time great trips for me. Like,
all made sense.
Without
connecting
a
the
doubt.
dots, right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing I'll say too is like, just generally, like we had our sit downs, the meetings in December last year, and the conversation that I had was, I don't care how much real estate I sell this year, as long as I hit top producer club, I'm good, right? I don't have to sell. I'm not trying to sell 5 million. As long as I do that, I'm good, right? But this year I want to focus on operations, habits, and like growing my relationships with the people around me. And I feel like this year was up and down for me with surgeries and different things. And but I think really the thing that I was aiming at and didn't necessarily know it was that growth in perspective and in relationships and getting really clarity about things in an uncertain time and how to go forward. And like probably the thing that I'm most grateful for is how much that happened this year. Did you all learn anything about yourselves this year?
Oh, yeah.
I think you learn something about yourself every year in the business, right?
Oh, you mean in the business or just
Whatever. Anything at all. Did you learn anything about yourself?
I think I've only been doing it 5 years, so I constantly learn something new.
All the
no
time.
deal is the same,
That's
ever.
right, ever. No two clients are the same.
No two clients are the same. I
Right.
mean, they could be. I sold a house to my sister this year, and even the way they operate so different than so every client is different. You never have the same personality, never have the same financials, or different lifestyle, whatever. So I think it's constantly changing and figuring out how to bend with them and how to make it work and get your personalities together. No two co-agent is the same. So the person on the other side, I think you're constantly learning how to, with some, feed that ego to get to the end, right?
That's it.
And how to make this work, because you just have to.
I think that's what's great about the
So-
job is because every day is not the
Everything's
same
different,
all monotonous thing that you're doing. It's different every.
And I think that's
hour
why
of
it
the day.
works. For me, I have to be constantly stimulated by something. So there's never a boring time. And then when things slow down and get boring, then I'm like, that's when I get
Anxious.
anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Like
Yeah.
the days that I have 25 places to be and 10 phone calls, like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the days where I have nothing to do and I
Right.
just sit at home and I'm like,
Yeah. Well, that's been good
Yeah, I'm
for
gonna
us,
freak out.
for a lot of people this year, is to come off of 21 and the beginning of 22, the 2-year span from mid 20 after we took a long break from doing anything with
once
COVID.
we were allowed to work.
Once we were allowed to work again in 2020 through 2022, it was a lot of people were just going and going, and money was cheap, and it was
Full speed ahead.
hindsight now 2020, like should have bought anything you could as that person, I was always worried my buyers would have regrets, but I think the only regrets they have is maybe not buying more of a house. Now it's like shoot,
Yeah.
but
That's where I'm at.
or just waiting. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. You told that story earlier about your place, but I think learning on that cusp of that is learning to slow down. Like you were saying, it's like to not get anxious when it is slower, but to enjoy that
Yeah.
and to because if you're doing the work in real estate or in life, like good things are probably going to happen and good things will come around. But when you're in it and it's slower and you've got the idle hands, I'm with you. Like I don't like being slow.
No.
But
and Joe says, enjoy your day
yes,
off.
yes, for sure, and really enjoy it. Yeah, I know. Take a day of rest, like a real day of rest. What a thought, It's
The
like
guilt of that.
Yeah. There
That's
is
what
guilt.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to be doing something.
I
Yeah.
should, I should be
feel
doing
like-
something.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like if I have 10 clients this month, I'm going to work all 10 of them, because next month I might not have any.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's the fear, right? If I don't do it now, then when am I going to get these clients again? Or when is that 3-2 going to be ready for if we don't buy this one, there might not be another one for 6 months,
Right.
So
Yeah, that's
learning
learning to trust that your business
Yeah.
is still going to be
Yeah.
steady even when you get through that slow time. That takes a long time to trust that.
Yeah.
Also, but it also just in our business, you do have to remember, or in life, but mostly in business, you still have to treat it like a job. Or
Right.
you still have to do the normal hours. There's temptations to start later and then maybe end later, or start later and end earlier. But there's always activities that we can be doing that are just like a actual, it's not 9 to 5. But we
you
can.
do a good job of that.
Well, I don't know about
Yeah.
that. I try to do that. I try to treat it.
You've got your
treat it
schedule.
like- I do have a pretty strict schedule for myself,
Have you
but
seen
that's
his
been
schedule?
learned.
He's
No.
presented it a couple times.
I've had to present it.
I must
promise.
have missed those.
Well,
He does certain things on Mondays, certain things on Tuesdays.
it's true. It's all a lie. I was taught it by a coaching company, so I know whether or not I practice
Spaghetti
it's
on
another
Monday.
thing. That's right.
Tacos on Tuesday.
Pizza Friday.
That's our personal calendar. How'd you know that?
No doubt. Taco Tuesday and Pizza Friday at the Hilliard House. No
Wacky
doubt.
Wednesday.
Right? Come on.
Hey,
Oh,
how do we do on the start the day with a 10-minute read? The theme days.
yeah. Theme days. Yep. That's what Jen's talking
the
about.
Patient gentle dad and the 5 coffees with friends a week.
Oh, he took a picture of my whiteboard
How
in the
did-
office.
how
Look
did
at it.
those-
This is
How-
Hilliard's.
How'd those shake out? Were we consistent, diligent,
Yep.
prepared, and focused?
Ooh, man, those are some good words. My word of 2020. I'd try to feel out and think out a word of the year every year. And this year, the word was consistent.
Yeah.
And so
Well, consistency's undefeated, right?
That's it. Is
That's
you
it.
nailed it. So there's a guy some of us follow, and that's his saying. And I do enjoy that because I do think consistency is undefeated. If you're consistent at it and you put in the work,
Monotonous,
good
right.
things are happening. Yeah, and it is, and it can be monotonous. But
Give a shout out to my sister up there.
look at
What's up,
Sarah Z
Sarah Z?
in the house. Yeah. But
Sarah, call in.
the call fast
606
number.
483
You want to
2807.
talk about unfiltered?
Yeah.
Should get live call, Sarah. But yeah, no, it's a challenge. There's no doubt. There's disruptions with kids, phone calls, all kinds of stuff. But I did start my day with 10 minutes of quiet. So there you go. So I got 10
Get up
minutes of
early.
quiet in. I did get a workout in first thing. So there you go. So started there, and I feel like if you get those first couple in, I give myself a lot more grace the rest of the day. But starting your day right's the big for me.
So you're not
Coffee.
playing catch up
That's
all day
right.
because you already got something in. Yeah.
Get something done. And
Makes
then I
you
can
feel
have my
lighter.
7 espressos you mentioned.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it.
And then I'm ready.
A couple IPAs.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
afterward. That's the table. Yeah, boy. Come on.
You know, you're talking about consistency. That's always been, frankly, like in life's been the hardest thing for me. With
First time, long time.
what?
Sorry, go with that.
What's up, Andrew? Give me 2 seconds.
Andrew's in the house.
What's the best Christmas received as a child? Ooh.
So, great question. You're talking about when you're busy versus when you're slow and what's engaging. My favorite thing is when I have a deal that the logistics and the moving parts of it are really tough. Not necessarily the people being dramatic, the personalities, but it's like,
Isn't that all of them?
it's like, how do you get all the puzzle pieces in place so that everything comes together, right? It's like, then you get to use your kind of problem solving brain.
Yes.
And that's when you personally, or at least me personally, I get really clear on what my value is, right? Because it's like, I kind of walk around with like, I just kind of take the world that I live in and what I do kind of for granted, and I don't see it as like knowledge. I'm just kind of having my experiences and picking up what I'm picking up, and I don't necessarily always think of myself as like the real estate expert, right? It's just what I've done for a few years. And then situations come up where it's like you got tax liens, you got trust issues, you got crawl space issues, you need an electrician, you need all these problems to solve, and then all of a sudden it's like, I do know what to do. Whoa. You know what I mean? It's like, I can call this person. You know what I mean? It's like, I do have resources. And it's like, it really makes you feel good when
You get real value.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. And you feel like you're really doing something special for somebody that maybe they wouldn't have the experience and resources, to use themselves. And it's like,
You feel like a real estate advisor?
I do. That's what it is. That's what we like. We like being real estate advisors. Okay. Andrew Wilson. First time in a long time. What is the best Christmas present you received as a child? Andrew, you're a great American.
You are a great American. We'll give you that. He has the green button next to him. That means he's on and listening, I believe.
Oh, is he
Is
listening?
that what it is?
Who's Andrew? Do we know Andrew?
Oh, yeah. Andrew
I think that means we're
leads
active.
another office in town. He's ready to rock over
okay.
here. Look at him.
Huh.
Best Christmas
I
present.
don't know. I think we used to the way we traveled. We went camping. So, Dad and Mom, we have Christmas, and on Christmas Eve we would leave for Sanibel Island, and we would
Love
Dad would drive
Sanibel.
3 kids and the dog and
Wow.
the station wagon and drive 18 hours. And I think those was the best memories. I don't remember any particular gift, but just the gift of being with everybody. We were in Florida, and everybody else was cool.
Boom.
We
Wow.
always got Christmas.
Yes, it was a long ways there, but those are great memories. And we were down in Sanibel, 50 years ago
Love Sanibel.
when
What a great
it was
place.
not really
Periwinkle Way.
Periwinkle Way. The
on.
the
Yes,
Periwinkle
come on.
Campground. That's right.
You can't
Pop
build
up.
anything over 3 stories in there.
That's right.
Come on. Sanibel.
Battleship. Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Oh, it's solid. Solid.
I can't think of a gift, but I can come back.
That's
to
a
me.
gift.
That's
don't-
a gift.
I don't know where I saw
Experiences
this.
are a
I
gift.
love to travel.
It might have been Stutz Todd back. But it was this like diagram of a timeline that had just like dots, right? And maybe it wasn't Stutz, I don't know. But anyway, but there's this idea that we think of our life as like a timeline, and we live according to the months, the days, and the years, right? But it's like, in terms of our memories and in terms of how we experience it, life really happens in significant moments, right? And it's like you think like, you said your daughter's 28, and so it's like you don't get to spend as much time with her as you used to, right? And so those visits are important, and so it's like maybe you don't have 30 more years, like maybe you have 50 more visits with that person.
Right.
And it's the same thing with each milestone with your kids or with if your parents are older. It's like you don't know how long you're gonna have people. Like my mom's gone, like Ryan's lost both of his parents. Like we know how that is. And it's like, you think of like you have 10, 15, 20 more years with a person, but maybe you just get to see him 20 or 30 more times. And then when you think about life in that way along, it's not just that particular example, but there's a lot of others where that comes into play. 100% agree that those moments are like really the best gifts, and those simple things and the most important things and those memories are just more important than anything else we can do or build or buy. That said, it was a remote control airplane by far.
Yep.
All sappy.
So
Y'all can age yourselves when you have to tell what toys that you
Good, yeah.
We got
That's
the
a good
battleship
one.
up there.
no, that's not true. A couple guitars. That white one hanging on the wall was a memorable one, 2002. That was the first ever guitar of its kind made in 2002, and the guy that it's his signature guitar, we got to meet, and he played it and signed it in 2003. My hero. But the one I was most excited for, I was really into airplanes, and Dad and Mom got me this, like, it was like 95, 96, probably $250, which was real money then.
That's big money.
Right.
No doubt.
So they buy this airplane that you have to assemble, like has a styrofoam wing on it, and you have to get everything together just right, remote control. And just like an old remote control car, except you fly it. And so I tear open the box. I think there's video of me like screaming, "A remote control airplane!" Ah! Ripping the box open, just like it's wonder I didn't destroy the box ripping it open. And we put it together, and Dad and I go down. We have a big moment in the lower field on the farm, and the plane takes off, and it lasts about 30 seconds in the air, dive bombs, and that was the one and only flight of my best Christmas present ever.
Did you cry?
I think my thought was, no, we can save it. We can fix it. But I think I never actually managed to.
Oh, no. Man down.
So Hilliard, Jenn, what you got?
The one that comes to mind, again, is a, like, still another timeless tradition of small town people. Monster trucks, of course. Monster trucks. So I was a big Bigfoot guy back then. They had Bigfoot.
I remember Bigfoot.
Remember Bigfoot? Like blue truck, giant white wheels.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I got the Power Wheels version of that. Man, that was like freedom for me. We had a very simple house growing up, but we had 5 acres, and so I just rode that thing to death. And had a great time.
Hold on. I was picturing Hot Wheels cars. So you rode it to death. It was
it was Power Wheels, man. This was like, I got
battery?
my battery charged, and at night, you plug it in every night.
Oh, you mean like the ones the kids have, like the Barbie car?
Yeah,
like a Barbie car.
Yeah,
I too
that's
have
a big
the
one.
blue pickup truck.
Hey, see, there we go. Got to get that bigger volt battery. I think it's 12 volt.
Yeah, Bigfoot though.
Bigfoot, man. Awesome.
I remember
Big
they
time.
had the Monster Jams, Charleston Civic Center. They would come in, and I think Bigfoot made a few appearances there.
You
at
better
the
believe
Civic
it. Him
Center.
and Gravedigger.
Yeah,
You
Gravedigger.
better believe
That's
it.
right.
Dennis
Man.
Anderson. Come on.
I didn't know that was still in my brain, dude.
Gravedigger is still alive. My son has Gravedigger stuff now, so it's just
Oh, did you
timeless.
save it?
Yeah. Oh well, no, he's like buying it. It's still relevant. Like Ninja Turtles, it's still here.
Oh, it's a turtle.
This is awesome.
That's so cool.
Most meaningful was a fishing pole from a pop because that meant
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
because it was like now it's like you haven't been able to fish with me. It was like the big boy fishing pole was like now you can come.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
ticket.
that's huge.
Yeah, and that's a ticket to come out. So that's pretty cool.
That's huge, man. Funny story. So this is a big one too. I was 4. Was a gray Gaucho Jeep Wrangler.
Oh yes,
cruise all over the farm on that thing, unless there was too much snow and somebody had to drive you home. But earlier, like a few months ago, I rented my first Turo car, which happened to be a hybrid electric Jeep.
Hey.
And so I thought, wouldn't it be poetic if I went out and bought one of those electric Jeeps? Be like my first car and this car. Right. Didn't end up doing that. Bought the 2-cylinder, but having the Wrangler at 4 and at 34, 35, big full circle moment for me.
That's sweet.
And I love that. And I love that those things are still relevant. And it's like Ninja Turtles, because it's like it's impossible to share like the time that you were in, like with your kids.
Right.
But if you can share those like specific things, it's like this bond and this link you can have like across time.
Yep.
And there's not a lot that's I would imagine better than that.
No.
Jen, what you got?
We used to get Christmas jammies every Christmas Eve.
Yes.
So
You were before
I have
your
two
time.
sisters.
Okay.
Are we smiling? No.
Huh?
I have two sisters, and so we would always and we got to open our jamies the night before.
Hey.
Christmas jammies
Sleep
the
in
night
'em?
before.
Love
Oh
that.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Easy bake oven.
Oh, that's a good
I'm
one.
so sorry.
Good one.
Came to me.
Good
Go
one.
ahead.
No, I like the easy bake oven.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So you had Christmas jammies before it was like all the rage on the internet?
Yeah. Well,
wow,
we didn't
you're
match.
cutting edge.
We didn't match. So I think
Sears catalog.
they would
Be
come
like me
from
in that Aperol.
probably the J.C. Penney or the Sears. Oh, I will tell you
JCPenney
one
for
thing I
sure.
got for Christmas one year, and I'm going to blame my mother for throwing this away, Jan, because its back was the Charlotte Hornets big
Starter jacket.
The
starter
starter
coat.
jacket.
Because they're
Great
back.
colors.
Who didn't
Oh,
have
yeah.
one of those? I thought it was Muggsy Bogues in that
Yeah.
thing.
No doubt, bro. You
I
were
may have
tearing
been
it
the
up.
only girl
You're
at
Del
school
Curry.
in the
Tell
Charlotte
the truth,
Hornet
have
starter
you ever
jacket.
gifted a gift? Are you all the same age? Probably.
Me and Jen?
I don't know.
What class were you in?
I graduated in 04.
You're same class as Rachel.
Okay.
I was 07.
I think my birthday's in a couple weeks. I think I'll be 30.
Are you December?
January 8th, right after Christmas.
What's hard to believe back on the Christmas movies and Home Alone
Yeah.
is like Kevin's mom is 38 in that movie.
Right.
And when you realize you're that age, you're like, whoa.
Yes.
Is
So,
that how we look?
the
We look
fact-
like Kevin's mom?
We do
That's when
not.
it hits.
Oh, that's it. We do not.
Bro,
like
but
2023, 38 is
sure?
not the same. I mean, how many of our parents were like walking around in like forces and gratitudes and like hats and stuff? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
we don't like
Not yet.
age is less relevant to us behaviorally and like in terms of like style because
Look
we
at the
grew
fact
up
you
like plugged
forget.
in, right?
Yeah, and you forget. I'm thinking I'll either be 37 or 38 in a few weeks, and I don't know which one. I might be
Yeah, that's when you
36.
forget. That's when it
Just
I had a minute like that this morning. I was like, am I 34, 35?
I
Like,
don't
I don't-
remember.
Have to tell.
had to do
Ryan and I
math.
are
like
December
2023
babies.
was-
So,
That's
you
right.
know, our saying
Let's
goes, all I want for Christmas is some people not to remember to remember it's
my birthday.
my December birthday.
That's right.
Especially when you're after
Come on.
Christmas.
Yes.
Because they are always cold, broke, and tired.
yeah.
Right? After Christmas.
Yep.
No
it's
doubt.
like, what the heck?
What's your birthday?
December 31st.
I thought so. Yeah,
That's right.
That's
Man,
amazing.
New Year's
Well, yours
Eve,
is-
baby.
My
yeah,
dad
yours
wanted
is
a
tough.
tax deduction.
Get her out.
Get it in there. Let's go, honey. Hot sauce.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm the 27th.
Yeah, right?
That's amazing.
And then everything's
But I
like
was 10
tied.
days late, so they didn't want it on Christmas. So.
Yeah, but all your
I hung in there.
Christmas is kind of wrapped into your birthday.
Yes. Oh
Right.
yeah, there was
Like,
always an extra present under the tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I was like, bull,
Yes.
some bull.
I would just move it to
Yeah.
July. Like if I
We
had a
should just
December
be,
kid,
like,
I'm
July
like,
the 31st.
we're gonna
Yes,
have your
yes.
party
Yeah.
6 months early.
That is what my folks did. They were cool. They did a half birthday in the summer.
They did a half
So that was
Aw.
cool. Yeah,
That's the
but
move.
that was a throwdown.
Yeah. And you get a little bit of one, a little bonus birthday there in December too, because
I think so.
technically,
Yeah. Maybe a trip to Paducah, Chuck
Yeah.
E. Cheese. You never know. You never know.
trip to Hills
You all got
or
to go out of state.
Yeah, we had to go out of state. 40 minutes south. You never know.
Funny.
It's funny. Good times.
all right, boys and girls. Anybody else have anything on the list that we didn't touch yet?
You have the list.
I have my list.
Oh.
Just wait till you're in your 40s.
Just wait until you're
Rachel
in your 40s.
wants to know if anybody's ever regifted a gift.
Oh, that's
No.
a good one.
Oh, yeah.
She said, okay. Go ahead.
Have I ever regifted?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What did you regift? Who gave it to you? And go ahead and hurt their feelings.
I don't know. I've probably done it a lot. Oh, I will regift. So you all don't know. I'm allergic to everything under the sun. So if you ever give me a lotion, a candle, a body wash, whatever.
Look at you, Jen Mooney.
I love Jen Mooney and I
soap.
love her dish soap. I did give my dish soap.
There it is.
I think Mark Musgrove took the dish soap home. But yeah, anything like that, I just regift. And so my sisters, I have 2 younger sisters, and I'm sure they were always happy to get the
That's awesome.
regifts. They're probably still happy.
Yeah, no doubt. Still pumped.
Fragrances or like pets or like trees or
Everything.
man. So you struggling with my dogs here a little bit?
A little bit.
Oh, I'm
You
so
hear me hacking? I
sorry.
had to hack it. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's just life.
They're hypoallergenic.
Right.
That's what they say.
We did have a my sister's ex-husband. We used to do Christmas with their family, and we did have a dirty Santa party, which is like that was the whole Christmas. You buy something, then you steal each other's gifts.
Great time.
We still do that.
That was a really, really good time.
I'm doing that tonight
yeah.
with a group. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Come on now.
They changed the rules this year.
To bring your regifting, all your stuff.
What's the budget?
No. Well, everybody had to wrap theirs in a brown paper bag this year.
Nice.
So
Oh,
you
that's
might even
cute.
get your own. You don't even know which
Oh.
one you're going to get.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's taking
That's
it up
a
a
So I
good
notch.
was at my
So-
favorite place this morning.
So, what are the
Walgreens.
rules on stealing and trading at that point? You guys do that?
It can only be stole once that round. So if I
Okay.
take it from Christy, you can't take it from me.
That way when
That
the game's
round.
getting close to over,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought of one.
Uh-oh.
So you said the Feast of Seven Fishes. What are our favorite Christmas foods, or what are the non-Christmas foods that are tradition randomly in your family? What foods do we associate with Christmas?
So
It's not like turkey and ham, like Thanksgiving. It's not
No.
obvious. Like I
Oh,
feel like
no.
everybody kind of does their own
No.
thing.
I think by Christmas we're so sick of food. So at my mom's, we either
Just fast.
each make our own pizza. We make our own little personal pizza, or we've done like a taco type thing. But then Christmas
Yes.
morning at my house, I make a breakfast casserole that Josie like.
Oh.
Do the hash
Yeah.
browns.
She
and
calls it
peppers
Chris.
and-
No, it's a sweet.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
So
Tell
she
us
calls
about
it
that.
Christmas. So sometimes in the summer she'll say, "Can we have Christmas breakfast?"
Cas- Christmas casserole?
There you go.
Wow.
Beef tenderloin, potatoes.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I knew you were
Christmas.
fancy. You keep proving how fancy
I
you
know.
are.
No,
over
it's
and
just like
over
meat
and
and
over again.
potatoes. Mom
I
always
think
did a
you can.
Meat,
roast.
I mean, her
$200
name
beef
is-
tenderloin. You make the Wellington.
Her name's
or
Pellegrino.
With
She's
the
a fancy water as it is.
After the lobster tail,
we do
they
the
move
lobster
on.
tail and the beef tenderloin. And creme
After
brulee.
that, here come the fillets.
Oh, then we get the Yule log from Martine.
You'll look, there we go.
From Martine.
A Yule log. I don't have a log. Not in
Oh
the sense
my
you think I
gosh,
said
I
it.
did not
did.
have that.
Gosh.
So we got it
What did I
last
say?
year because Martine's makes it and it's delicious. If you've never had it,
The Yule
well, the
log?
last few Christmases I've missed out because I didn't order it in time. So last year I did, and it was so good. And then Luke said, "I want that for my birthday." He goes, "Can you call them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll ask."
It's
And they just
it's
kind
a
of
Yule log
laughed.
from
They're
Martine's.
like, "No, it's
It's a Yule log from Martine's.
Yule logs. They come in pistachio or chocolate.
Oh,
I'm gonna
don't
be real
don't
with-
sleep on pistachio.
Oh well,
I
skipped
didn't
the
know that. I didn't know that
pistachio's
until
really good, but-
Martine's.
Yes, but anyways,
Being from,
Wow.
we like to eat.
being from Lawrence County,
Good.
I've heard the
Yeah.
words Yule log, but I'm not sure I know exactly what that is. Is that like a pumpkin roll kind of thing?
It looks like a pumpkin roll, but this has like Kahlua in it, and it's rolled chocolate cake. I don't want to butcher what it is when I don't know. It's just really good, and it looks like a log.
Okay.
And then she has the little. It's German, and then it looks like a log, but then it has the marzipan, like little like mushrooms, things made out of sugar, the sugary.
Like
Sugar
Turkish delight.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good, you all. So
How long
Man,
do we have
we
to
have to
order
try
this?
that.
you
at
better
Martine's?
order
Is
it.
the order over?
Would Martine's door
Ordered one
down?
yesterday.
You probably get it in here.
She bring me the Yule log on.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
So one
That's
thing about
awesome.
Christmas vacation, it never made sense to me. They're all together for Christmas, but then you see them like watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade,
Yes.
and
Thanksgiving.
like Papa's like sleeping through it, right? Clark, fetch me my stogie, right? And then you get the turkey dinner, which is like another Thanksgiving thing. in my family, we never did like a Christmas Day sit down. We just kind of set up like a buffet with, ham, sandwiches, biscuits, sausage balls, that whole thing. Do you all do sit down Christmas dinners like you do? So maybe it's just the Eastern Kentucky thing. We don't.
No, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it does. I
So
think
you do the
anything
seafood.
works.
Well, a lot of
Yes.
times we do breakfast for dinner.
Yeah.
We either do
yeah.
seafood
I like that.
feast or breakfast for dinner.
Yep.
It's like
Love it.
kind of warm, homely, like fun. Everybody can just grab what they want, And breakfast food is the best meal of the
Oh,
day.
yeah, for sure.
It hits
Yeah.
all times a day.
That's right.
Yeah, all time.
So
That's
good.
right.
Rachel and the kids make cinnamon rolls the night before. So
Oh, yeah.
homemade cinnamon rolls.
See,
We
you're
dial
got
them
your
in that morning.
tradition,
Yeah.
right?
That way, when we're getting woken up at 4:55
5
a.m.,
Yeah.
we can go pop those in.
You're like-
Nope. Then here we go.
And that'll be their tradition. They'll
that's
have
what-
a recipe. Yeah.
That's what we hope. That's what we hope. And we do a casserole too, man. Breakfast casserole. Then prime rib for dinner.
There you go.
Do mint sauce or mint sauce guy?
Just have
I
to
do
pop it in the
horseradish.
oven.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
love
Horseradish
yeah.
on that
Yes.
prime rib.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
more of a
Rachel's
lamb
folks.
thing than mint sauce. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Anything else? Boys and girls?
Did we cover it?
Children of all ages?
Boys and girls.
Mushrooms. She means mushroom-like
that right?
things.
Mushrooms. Did I hear that right? In the Yule log?
Do a mushroom cake.
I think they
Audio
are
check.
mushrooms.
Teresa, it's like a little candy. I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Thad, what a setup, man.
I
This
know.
is
This has
sweet.
been fun,
What a
so
setup.
fun.
Where am I right now? Been transported somewhere over here.
This
This
is
is
Shout
amazing.
out Ryan Hilliard for your. First of all, Natalie Kusick
Wow. At the
changed
office.
your office Christmas tree.
What a
Wow, I
Have
know.
you seen the office Christmas tree?
tree. Let me throw that up on
Pre
live
and
stream. I'm
post,
kidding.
Natalie.
She's
Oh,
incredible.
I didn't know
It's a
there
gift.
was like a before and after Natalie at the office. I have to.
You got to
Yeah.
come back. You
Take
got to
note
come
of
by.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one thing that we are very fortunate at the brokerage. We are a group of people with many different gifts,
Yeah.
and some gifts you just don't know. And Natalie Cusick is dialed in on Christmas tree decor. Like she can do in an hour what I would never do in my entire life, and it's impressive. Like it looks good.
Like-
There's
like,
logs stuck through
Buddy
the
the
whole
Elf.
tree. Yes,
that
Buddy the
was
Elf.
a-
Is
It
that-
was. It was like Buddy the Elf at Macy's or whatever. What's the store?
Corporate's been here. They're gunning for us. That's right.
Inside job.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So is this like an hourly, like a package deal with Natalie? Just
We're
just
gonna,
future
yeah,
reference.
we're gonna take care of her.
I don't know
We're
how
just gonna
does she
take
just
care
keep
of
all
this.
that stuff at home.
So now she's gonna keep the stuff, yeah. So it'll be nice, yearly tradition.
Yeah,
But I mean, hey,
beautiful.
if people need that service, I think she's for hire. So there you go.
So that's
Yeah.
that's my question. Does he have a
Yeah.
fee schedule or how does that
yeah,
work?
she does it
Believe
for
she-
folks
yep.
at
I have to
their
get
house.
that. I have to
Yeah.
get that menu
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Natalie.
I asked her how many trees she had at home, and it was a measly 7. 7 that she decorates.
Is that it?
Oh, gosh.
7.
One's enough.
Yeah.
So one thing for you all, if you haven't done, is we volunteered last year for the Nest on their setup
Yes.
day.
Awesome.
So if y'all
Awesome.
haven't been in on that, you should do that.
That's a
We
great
had
call.
And do you know the date? You do not.
The 14th is when they got to have the gifts there by. The 15th is the day that they start putting everything together for people to pick up.
Separations and piles. Okay, that was
Yep.
a good day.
And that Jen's talking about the Reindeer Express
Reindeer
at the Nest.
Express.
Yes.
That the brokerage is proud to support every year since our inception. Year 6, here we go.
Jen, we can't skip
Do it.
the whole origin of this. I just realized we did. Talk about your bike giveaway.
Yes, come on,
yes.
come on.
Well, the bike giveaway, it's over. So we, so every year we donate. Joe and I donate bicycles to the fire department. Toys. It's not Toys for Tots. Toys for firefighters. Toys or something. I can't remember the name.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll butcher
Yes.
it. But this year was their 93rd giveaway. So how crazy, their 93rd year
Wow.
of doing toys for Lexington and for
Oh,
the
wow.
kids
I
of
know, that's
Lexington.
awesome. That is.
So a couple years ago, she's scooching. She's scooching.
Look at her. Oh, hey,
Little bobblehead just reaching out.
What a good sport she is, man.
She
What a good lady.
is. So
She gone.
Like the wet bandits.
They'll never know.
So whatever year it was that we were truly, truly blessed in real estate, 2021.
21. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is the 3rd year. So that year, Joe and I thought, we do different things throughout the year, but we thought, hey, we need to do something like really cool. So
Yeah.
what are we going to do? And we decided I had done 25 real estate transactions that year, which is bonkers, but I did 25 bikes we were going to give away. And so
That's awesome.
we went to Walmart, coordinated with Walmart, bought these bikes. And then I thought, I have no way of transporting 25 put together bicycles. So I called the guy who knows everyone and knows everything about everything.
Yep.
Benjamin Clay Allen.
Ben Allen.
Yep.
And I said, hey, do you have a trailer? He said, yeah. I said, you doing anything? He said, no.
Be there in 20.
I said, could you come to Hamburg Walmart and load up 25 bicycles and drop them off somewhere with me? And he said, absolutely. So he and Will showed up and loaded and drove them over and unloaded. So we've done that for the past couple years. Josh was my trailer guy last year. He came and picked them up and delivered them with me. This year, we had some snafus at Walmart, and we ended up ordering we increased it this year, 30 bikes. So we did 30 bikes this year. We had them all shipped to our house.
That's awesome.
We thought they were coming on like a delivery truck, and instead, Walmart does this new thing now where they send grocery store drivers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So these bikes came to our house one by one.
One by one.
From 7 in the morning till 10:13 at night. For about a week, we had one bike at a time. So after we stacked them all up, we called the fire department. They graciously brought some vans out and picked them all up and are putting them together this week.
You had to put them together?
This year they came unassembled.
Oh, gosh.
In the past, we got them from the store. And they
So
were
like how unassembled? Like the frame and the wheels, or like?
I didn't open the box.
That's those words are.
I did ask the fire department, hey, if we have to do it this way, and he said, yep, we got a crew here, and that's all they do is put together bikes.
Man.
So how cool!
That's
so
awesome.
That is awesome.
The weekend of the 15th is their big giveaway where the families come in and they can shop all day and find the stuff they want. So all that to say, there's still time if you need to donate this year. If you do something big, they'll come pick it up. If you want to do just something single, you can Amazon it to the drop off or the pickup place.
Sweet.
I think Station 12 is like where they put their big
decorations.
Yeah, their big boxes out, and people can just drive by and drop stuff off. So pretty cool, and hopefully we. That's
awesome.
I did not sell 30 houses this year. I just want to make that known. It used to be a bike per
every house.
transaction, and then last year we were low, but Joe said you've already done 25, so you got to keep doing 25. We'll never go down. And then this year 30 just seemed like a good number. So, I mean, I'm really excited. This is the 93rd year. If I'm still in business, God willing, in 7 years to do like the 100, I would love to do 100 for 100.
Oh,
so
man. Yep. Come on.
I'll need a couple trailers and
Let's go. Some
people.
trucks.
Maybe we start saving
recruiting.
the budget. Now.
Yes,
We just put it
yes.
in the pot. But I think it would be cool to do 100 for the 100th anniversary.
Amazing.
That would be. And good for you for doing all that, honestly.
Well, you have to.
Yeah. And I think it's like,
That's good.
I mean,
You know,
to look
I know-
at, we've talked about before, and so, and we joke a lot on our team, but I have such a great group of like folks that I work with, and all like super humbled beginnings, and just to look at what all you have now and what all I'm able to give for Josie. I mean, nowhere in my mind did I ever think that this would be my life, or that I would have the opportunity to do something like this. Obviously, I'm a social worker at heart. I will always, that will be such a huge part of me, and, being in the community and helping out like that. So there's really no other option.
well, and it's cool that, you're not doing social work, but you're still in a business that gives you the opportunity
For sure.
to lend yourself to something like that. That's something I need to be better about, honestly.
Yeah, I think if you find something like Ryan has the nest, you've got a personal, reason behind that. And if you can find something that really is personal and, you have a connection to, I think it makes it easier to just dive in and to give. So whatever, that is for you, I'd say just stay on it,
Well,
attack it.
and on the Christmas memories for Josie now, she'll always remember every year, like of y'all doing that, whether or not
She's gonna remember the year we had our
she's gonna remember
garage
y'all
door
giving.
open 30 times.
Yeah, that's right. The Walmart came 30 times in
Santa
7
brought a new
days.
opener.
I hope you have one of the apps with the
Yeah.
garage door button.
So, I don't know. Another thing for
Maybe.
Joe, just I came home and said, "Hey, here's the deal this year. Can you make room in this garage for 30 bicycles?" And he was like, "Okay,
We'll figure it
we'll
out.
we'll do this." And he was out there counting, and we did so 15 girl, 15 boy, and between the two, we do different sizes for each. So we were out there inventorying to make sure which ones came and which ones didn't. They sent us a wrong one. We had to ship it back and get a new one. And I mean, it was like Santa's
work.
workshop in there.
Yeah, it was.
Stands for-
That's
When we
it.
do the 100, I'll need some garages. So Thad,
Yeah.
you're here.
Yeah, I have a room. Goodness, I'm not using the weight bench in there, so plenty of room over there on the other side.
As long as we could get to the fridge out there, we were good.
That's right.
100%.
Back to like the bikes unassembled. Like I feel like at Christmas, that's a parent's worst nightmare is the word "some assembly
my gosh.
required."
I know, right? Yes.
With that little, they give you that teeny
Little
tiny
Allen wrench.
Allen wrench. And
You can't find the Allen
many
wrench,
a
right.
Christmas Eves,
Yeah.
I've heard Joe just blaring cuss words
I know.
from the garage
I
at
know.
like 10:30 at night.
You heard the swear jar filling up in the
It's
garage.
like, ding, ding. Merry Christmas. That's the days you'll miss.
Speaking of that, Mom and Dad's hiding spot was the furnace room in the basement.
Nice.
Mom being the epitome of a procrastinator, ADHD. Dad, against his will, spent many a Christmas Eve till 3 and 4 a.m. I know, putting Christmas presents together in the back of the furnace room, in the basement, year after year after year. So, shout out to
worst.
Dad. Thank you.
Job, Dad.
Man, and I think maybe a good way to wrap this up. We started talking about our significant others, our spouses, and how for each of us, we can be scattered and how they hold down the fort for us. And like, I just want to say, like, so grateful for my wife and for her family and the support that I have to be able to do this business and ride the roller coaster up and down and have the freedom to do things like a podcast at 2 p.m. like on a Wednesday, and just like to have to leave dinner on a showing because it's 2021 and my clients want a house that I know is going to get 30 offers. And if I'm not there, we're not going to get it. And I have to call Ryan and beg him to let me in. and
Oh, boy.
just it's, it's been a ride, like, and especially for you all, I know that have kids and have families, like they take on a lot of responsibility for the life that we have to live. And man, I'm grateful for mine for keeping me grounded and just shout out to Joe and mine and your Rachel, and remind me your husband's name. Anthony. Shout out to Anthony, man. All right, boys and girls. Cheers. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
That was a lot of fun.
Can we
Yeah.
also all agree that we want Christy Pellegrino to be our mom at Christmas
Yeah.
time?
100%.
Please, Christy.
Hey, man.
If you could do
Please.
it on the 23rd, we could
That's
all
right,
come.
right.
All right, let's do
Thanks, man.
let's do a proper. Usually I edit this after, but let's just do. By the way, love you guys. So grateful that I get to do like life and business with this group of people every day.
I know. It's
Seriously,
man.
like
Yes,
Yeah, for
yes,
real,
it was a lot of
likewise.
fun. Yes.
If somebody ever asked, do you think you'll ever leave the brokerage? And you say, for what? I mean, there's nothing that compares, right?
I love to hear
I
that.
mean,
we all love to
there's
hear that.
this ain't normal.
It's not.
It's
It's really
normal.
not.
It's not
It-
normal. And
There's something magic in
just to say, blessed and thank you and to
And
all
it's
of
a
you
re-
all.
it. Yeah, it's a really good team. It is a dream team of people at the office. Everybody unique talents, everybody unique gifts, and it all comes together. It's unbelievable. So,
Bunch of great Americans,
Yeah.
what they are.
bunch of great
Yeah, right.
Americans for real. Bunch of thankful great Americans. Cue the
That it?
outro.
Are we done? That was a lot of fun. We chatted. Are we on air? No.
We are.
Are you still are?
What an experience, brother.
I
Thanks,
know.
man.
Wow, you're
Good
so
job.
you're
What
so
a pro.
calming. Yes, you are a pro. Oh my gosh.